What's up, and welcome back to Kind of Funny's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in review. That's right, we are ranking and reviewing every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. This is the end. It's been a long journey. The end for now. One day Seth Rogen will hopefully come from the heavens and descend
Save
on
the
us
day.
and save the day. But for now, that is not the case. Of course, this is Kind of Funny's in review. I'm Tim Gettys. We're joined by the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Hello, hello.
The big dog, Kevin Coelho.
What's up?
It's Christmas in July, Joey Noel.
Oh, it actually works out this month. That's exciting.
And, of course, the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Top of the morning to you, Tim.
Top of the morning to you, Nick. Of course, this is in review. We do it twice a week here at Kind of Funny. You can watch it on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com if you want to get it as a podcast. Just search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny in review, and we'll be right there for you. If you want to get the show ad-free, if you want to watch live as we record it, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like our Patreon producers have done, including a new one today, Molecule. Shout out to Molecule, a brand new Patreon producer. Get used to
Thank
that.
you.
Name.
That's
Nick,
like
what you
like
gonna do with that?
That's a cool
that's
rapper
a-
name.
That is a super villain name if I ever heard of it.
Oh, really?
There. Oh my god, yeah.
That
Molecule.
was like a rapper name.
100% the villain for Fast 10.
Thank you.
my God.
Thank you.
Oh,
But of course, no
And
one's
by
ever
Jamie
really
Foxx.
truly a villain in Fast and Furious universe. So Molecule, of course, by Fast and 10 Part 2 will get invited to the barbecue.
I love it. I love it so much. But right now, we are about to close out Ninja Turtles in review right here. And then later this week on Friday, MCU in review returns with Black Widow. How exciting is that? I'm very excited.
I'm jacked.
Woo, baby.
Cool.
But today,
Cool.
we're not talking about that. We're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. In Europe, it was known as Teenage Mutant Ninja Toodles. So,
Oh,
that-
shut the
Excuse
fuck
you?
up. You're joking.
Excuse
am-
you?
definitely
He
made that up.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
god. Okay.
100% made that up. Before
I
I
was like-
recorded this, I told Gia I'm going to do it. And I was like, man, you think I could pull it over on him?
Yeah. See, Tim, do you see how good it feels just to spit stuff out of your ass and get a laugh? Welcome to my world.
Keep your health care. Well, I mean, let's not act like the UK is doing fantastic, right? They have their issues as well. But like, if you would have said Canada, that it was known in Canada as that, I would have been like, look, you can keep all your good shit over there. You know, we had Trump for 4 years, but you have that, which is almost as bad.
Yeah.
Toodles.
I kind of like it. I don't know.
I wish it had gone
I don't
to
hate it.
tortoise. I feel like that.
I don't
would've-
hate it.
There would have been more believability there.
So,
Yeah, but they make the joke in the movie that they're specifically not
Ooh,
tortoises.
Kevin.
Exactly.
Tor dose.
All right, this one had a runtime of 1 hour and 52
That was
minutes.
good,
It was
Andy.
released on June 3rd, 2016. It was directed by Dave Green, an American film and music video director. He's most well known for a bunch of music videos and short films, not really too storied of a directing catalog yet. But in December 2019, it was reported that Green will direct a live-action animated film based on Looney Tunes character Wile E. Coyote called Coyote vs. Acme. James Gunn is producing. So
Interesting.
Could be interesting. This one featured music by Steve Jablowski. The last movie featured music by Brian Tyler, who's known for the Fast and Furious soundtracks. And the last score was awesome. Steve Jablowski, the Transformers soundtracks, which are also awesome. My problem with this is he literally just used Transformers music.
It was
for
the exact same
This
thing.
was
Like,
the
they were-
Transformers score. There was like no creativity at all. And I'm like, what the fuck?
No,
What?
not needed.
Thing to say to
Crazy.
someone.
Did
you notice
hear
that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely moments, specifically at the end or in the climax, where you're like, this sounds like a Transformers movie. But to be fair, that happens a lot with a lot of even higher end, composers. Like if you listen to a Michael Kamen movie, you're like, this could be any number of 5 of movies because he uses the same music cues all the time. And I'll be honest with you, the soundtrack fit very well with this, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did not. Did not at all. This one had a budget of 135 million and a box office of 245.6 million, and it does in fact pass the Bechdel test. Barely though. There are 2 named female characters, April O'Neil and Chief Vincent, played by Laura Linney. During an interrogation scene, they talk about a video security footage that has been edited. It's a very short conversation, but it does in fact happen. There is another female character, Karai, but she's not even really named or doesn't really say anything. So That's all you got there. Some facts for you here. Kevin Eastman, one of the Ninja Turtle creators, is the guy that makes the appearance as the pizza delivery guy that's like walking by.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
They come and grab the pizza.
Mm.
So and
He's way
Michelangelo
too
even
chill
says,
about
"Thanks,
what just
Kevin."
happened.
You feel like it happens a
Disappointed.
lot.
Distracted by his
Uh,
phone.
I just
Guys-
got the fact that he just does it all the time. He's just used to it.
Yeah, I mean, but like again, like even if like every day, every week on like Wednesdays, like giant monsters zoom through the air and catch your food, like that would be weird, right? Like there's this
Good
weird.
tippers, the good tippers. Though. I mean,
Tippers,
listen,
baby.
I like to swing
that's
into
New
my
York.
local restaurants here, but they don't care. I tip them $2. Lots of people just tip them $1. They're like, let him do
I-
whatever he
I
wants to do.
I'm having trouble with everyone's call. Like Joey's frozen.
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody very framey.
Everyone's
Okay. All right, so
spot
it's not
on
just
my
me.
end.
It's not just me.
I see
Every-
it in the preview
everyone's
window that
perfect
we're all
for me.
framey, but like in our own cameras, we're not.
Should I restart Discord? I feel like I might have to restart Discord.
Well, yeah, if you're not seeing us right, I think maybe we should pause and restart Discord real quick because everyone looks
Okay.
good on my end.
Give me one
Yeah, I
second.
can see where
I'm
we're
gonna-
fine.
I'm gonna bloop in and out. Hey guys, just me and you. Secret time, you know what I mean? Paula worked on this movie. She was she was a PA. It was the first movie that she's in the credits.
What
Mhm.
it's known
Yeah.
by? If you would have said Japan, I would have 1000% bought it.
I bought
Yeah,
it.
but that's too easy. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they name Final Fantasy games what they
That's
do.
true.
So
That's very true.
and the Fast and Furious franchise, which is just utterly fantastic. We're looking better, Kev?
Oh yeah, way better. Everyone's moving the right way.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Except for Andy, he's moving
Fantastic.
a lot. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, there it is. Dodge it, dodge it.
Moving on, we have a couple more little facts for you here. Pete Plazek is now Leonardo, both in voice and actor form. In the last movie, he was just the actor. Johnny Knoxville was the voice. Did not continue for this one. And Judith Hoak, who played April O'Neil in the original movie, makes an appearance as April's boss, Rita, in this one. The producers tried to get cameo roles from the actor that played Casey and from Sam Rockwell, who were both in the first movie, but they declined to appear.
That's
Unfortunate.
It is
That's
very
unfortunate.
unfortunate. Andy, what did you think about this movie?
I don't know, man. You know, I think
No,
this
tell us.
after last week, I really I think I enjoyed the first iteration of this new sort of Turtles movie more than everybody else. And this one I feel kind of the opposite on. I don't know what it was about. Now, granted, Mikey still made me laugh every time. Every time Mikey's like saying dumb shit and being silly, and when Raph is getting mad and he's like, "No, don't tell Leo. We're not going to be able to record our holiday Christmas album or hip hop album." Like stupid little lines like that. Like I think he's just funny as hell, and whatever he's doing on screen makes me laugh. But I don't know, man. I just feel like there were a lot of those later Transformers vibes in this movie. The stuff that kind of just makes you roll your eyes and go, "Ugh, we could have had a better." There really wasn't a better line than that you could have responded with. Good Lord, Megan Fox is just like, I think she reads lines in a way that makes them seem convincing, but at the sake of whatever her mood should be in that scene.
Why is she smiling?
Like-
Always.
There are so many sequences that call for a different tone, a different mood. But I think she just goes for the line that sounds most like the way she would say it in real life. And it often just like kind of ruins the scene because I don't know. It's like she's never on the same wavelength as everybody else. I thought Stephen Amell was really bad. Good Lord. I just thought his acting performance, he was like in a different movie. His voice is like a little too high pitched to be Casey. I don't know. It just didn't fit right. It just didn't feel right. Homeboy the wrestler, terrible. Holy shit.
Famous.
What's his name? Yeah,
Seamus.
Seamus, who played Rocksteady. Just not very, very good at what he did. Brad Garrett though, as as Krang. Not great, but okay.
I didn't even realize that was Brad Garrett. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
I'll tell you what. The only thing that came away positive from this movie was like seeing Krang in CG in that first sequence. I was like, I want a Doom movie. I want them to make like a modern Doom movie because I thought the visuals of it looked really cool. Again, I just wish this movie was a CG animated movie. I wish they just got rid of the real actors and went full cartoon with it. I thought it would have been a lot more fun and a lot less weird whenever stuff happens that just doesn't feel like it fits. Overall, I came away with this a little less satisfied than I was last week after watching the first one.
Evan.
Shockingly, I really enjoy this movie in the sense that like it's a cartoon. Like they go all out on so many different things, and it's just like we see the turtle van and it spits manhole covers, and it's like that's fucking awesome. I mean I don't like the design for a lot of stuff, but they made things like Splitter is a little less scary, and the faces.
His nose isn't so wet.
Yeah, and the faces too of the turtle are a little like they look just a little bit more cartoony, and I feel
brighter.
There is some issues with the color purple and the bandana not looking as purple as I'd like it to, but like I don't need to bring that up. It doesn't matter. But yeah, overall, I mean, I just kind of feel like it's balls to the wall, 100% the entire time, and I kind of like that. Like this reminds me of what I remember the cartoon being like, and that's kind of what I want from a Ninja Turtles movie. So I was like shockingly pleased with this movie.
Andy Cortez.
I do want to just hop in really quick and say I loved the Turtles in this equally as much as to the last movie. The only reason why this movie kind of disappointed me was that I felt like for every really fun, good sequence, there was an equally badly written part the next moment that made you go, "Ah, come on, man! Like we're so close to being like a 7 out of 10 movie. We're so close." And it would disappoint me whenever there would be another dumb decision made.
Joey Noel.
I think this is the most whatever 5 out of 10 movie that I've watched in a while. Just like it exists just to get you to like the next set piece fight or whatever. But like I didn't find any of those like that cool, like worth kind of the bullshit that we have to put up with to get there. I will say that I've been saying for like however many movies we've watched where Bebop and Rocksteady, and I would like to apologize for asking that over and over again because I did not like them in this iteration at all. So I take full responsibility for that. But something that I was thinking about is like why, because it like overall, this isn't like that different of like story beats from like Batman and Robin in the sense that like there's a thing and they turn into creatures, kind of like Bane does. I was like, why do I like that movie so much more than this? And I think it's just that Batman and Robin commits to being really campy in a way that this doesn't. And I think it's because of Megan Fox and Stephen Amell. Like I think they're trying to be too serious, which is a weird thing to say about this movie. Or if maybe that's just my read, like it doesn't seem like they're kind of like doubling down on this being like, these are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that you're partnering with here. Like, I think if they had like maybe just toned it down a little and like, okay, this isn't going to be some like award-winning film and like just had a little bit more fun with it, I think I would have probably liked it better.
Now the final sequence where they encounter the cops and kind of like, here's who we are and here's what we do. Yeah. Like I got hype there. Like I
set it up where you can't not be hype.
I felt the hype there. Yeah.
Nick, what'd you think?
I mean, I gotta disagree with all you guys. I thought this movie was fun. I don't think it's a good movie, but I think tonally they nailed it. I think every character is. I'm sorry, Kevin thought it was fun too. But I enjoyed it. Like I have criticisms of it, obviously, but I think that they were going for a kind of dumb, cartoonish like movie, like Kevin said, and I think they nailed it. I think Megan Fox and Stephen Amell are great in this. They're a lot more than they need to be, but when you're acting opposite 7 foot long, 7 feet tall giant turtles, I think the direction was like, hey, let's have some fun with this and maybe not take it too seriously. But I never thought any of the performances took me out of what was going on. And I think one of the things I like most about this is that it seems like the characters were written. Whereas in the first one, I think a lot of the turtle stuff was like secondary, where they're like, let's make it much more about April. Let's make it much more about the other characters. And this one, it was a Turtles movie. We spent more time with them. They feel like they're real characters, as real as they can be, of course, in this like cartoonish landscape. And by the time you get to Krang being asked to be stuffed back into the body of the robot, I'm like, this is just fun. And I think that the action sequences actually worked for me because I thought they were a lot more refined than the first ones. And I love the fact that they were like, hey, let's take a modern spin on the Turtle Van, which is going to be a garbage truck like we've seen before, but it's the Tortuga Brothers garbage truck, whatever the fuck it was. I thought it was fun. I think this is a perfect like kids movie that knows what it is and is not making it for a 41-year-old Turtles fan. They're making it for kids. And I think if I were a kid watching this, I'd be like, this movie slaps.
Leo kind of a bitch though. Like,
Oh,
come on, Leo.
bitch.
Well,
I could not.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I mean, that is obviously like, they need to stop
They have to make
doing
something
that
else.
as
Yeah.
a fucking side plot. It is the 7th movie where Leo and Raph are the only B story that's happening here. And I'm like, we don't need it anymore, guys. Like, stop doing that. The antagonism between these two is just at this point old. Granted, we've watched every Turtle movie back to back. So maybe if you didn't know that,
20
but,
years
like,
had passed.
yeah,
20, 30
exactly.
years had passed.
but it is
Yeah.
kind of the only, they keep going back to that same well, which is disappointing. But I don't know. I think this movie just kind of had a fun factor that the other ones were missing that I thought they nailed.
I couldn't disagree with Nick more. I had no fun with this at all. And I thought that it totally missed any vision it was even trying to accomplish, because there is so much fun cartoony elements. But for all of those, like, this is the first time they did it. There's Shredder and Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and hints at a bunch of other stuff, like with the
Technodrome?
scientists, and the Technodrome is actually the Technodrome,
Yeah,
all that
Baxter.
stuff. But they're just there. Like, and it's just like they're not doing anything interesting. And when they're there, it's not cartoony fun. It's just cartoons in a real world. And that's the biggest problem I'm with Joey, where it's like so much of this is taken way too seriously. It's not a kids movie. Like, they're not doing fun kid stuff. They're saying like son of a bitch and like things like that are just like I just don't understand.
Tyler
like,
Perry. Oh my god.
yeah, and then
Tyler
Tyler Perry
Perry.
doing whatever he's doing. And it just, again, there's this insistence on like the foot being like this, like, terrorists more than anything. Like, they don't feel like ninjas. It feels like they're always going up against these armed assailants. And I'm like, the car chases and stuff, like the Turtle Van car chase didn't feel like a Ninja Turtle car chase. It felt like a bad Transformers scene.
What about
And that
the-
is my problem. Them having the thing shooting out all the manhole covers and stuff, like, it didn't feel fun. It just felt like bad, poor decisions that was poorly choreographed, and then later pay off with them talking about it as like, oh yeah, like Stephen Amell repeating the lines that Megan Fox did in the first movie. I'm like, yeah, there was this car and they were shooting out manhole covers, like homing manhole covers. And it's just like, man, this somehow just feels worse than the poor delivery of the first one, Andy Cortez.
Tyler Perry's performance. We gotta sort of talk about this because
We don't have
I sort of
Mad
made this.
scientist.
I made the same comparison when I was playing Final Fantasy Origin, where like when I see Tyler Perry acting in this movie, I can easily picture him in a TV show where the main character is auditioning for a part and Tyler Perry as himself comes in and auditions for the part and plays the character that way in a way that's not good. And like that's what I envisioned the whole time of like this just feels like Tyler Perry playing a character badly on purpose, because like there's no way that this was the direction. Like there had to have been something else there that you could have done that was, at least stand out. You're a good actor. Like stand out from the other actors a bit and show your chops. But you're on the same level as Stephen Amell and Megan Fox. Like again, you don't have to be super serious and ultra, Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm not saying that. Just like you can be a good actor in this movie and not be, accused of taking yourself too seriously. I thought he was really bad as well.
Yeah, I just think that scene to scene, there's no consistency even within each scene. Every character that's in the frame feels like they're in a different movie, especially when you start talking about the scene where we have Stephen Amell, the Turtles, and April. And April's just standing there in the alleyway smiling the entire time. And it's like, what? I don't even understand what we're supposed to be taking from this when Stephen Amell is just like way too serious, and then the Turtles are way too cartoony. And like we now have
It's so
three
funny.
different types of voice in every single scene, like leading to a point where Bebop and Rocksteady do something goofy, and then Shredder, we have fucking Shredder standing there, and he literally goes like looking left to right, like a oops, who did that type thing, and it's really bizarre. Talking about Bebop and Rocksteady, though, I actually really loved them. I think that this is kind of the best iteration we've ever seen of them. Like it was just taking them what they were in the cartoons, but actually flesh. I'm talking about in any iteration.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
giving
really?
them a little bit more, and like they kind of just were like, oh, you nailed their characters of what they're supposed to be. I enjoyed Seamus. I enjoyed the other actor. I don't know his name. I liked them together. They didn't fit in the movie, but when they were together doing stuff, I would have rather see that cartoon movie than what we ended up getting.
I just felt like everyone was very much like, hey, play this as if you are a character in a 90s cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
Baxter just is constantly like, ooh, and it's like, that's who the character is, you know? Like, he's constantly trying to, yeah. And
But what
and I
about the
feel
police
like,
chief?
But I feel
I
like
mean,
the police
listen,
chief, the
we're not
hard-ass
gonna
police
sit here-
chief that's like, I don't believe the hell you're talking about. And then later,
Yeah,
like,
Laura Linney's
oh,
like
no.
straight out of a True Detective HBO.
I'm not going to fucking sit
like,
here.
that
I'm
is-
not
Like,
gonna
that is-
it's
fucking
not
sit
90s
here
cartoon.
and listen to the disrespect that you all are doling out for Laura Linney. Okay, you need to fucking recognize. Joey, can I get an amen?
Yes, but she's so out of place in this movie.
No, I think she was. I mean, I think they were trying to go for like the traditional. Like she's kind of
The tough cop.
the straight man, right? The
Yeah.
tough guy, the one that's like, I don't believe in this is going on.
She's her character
I
from
didn't-
Ozark.
Well, I mean, that character is
Yeah.
intense and really
In a
insane.
cartoon.
Yeah.
No, I think
like,
she's just
in the
playing
cartoon,
the
like,
direction
she's-
was play the police chief, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where you guys are coming from, but none of this read like that to me. It read like everyone was having fun. Yes, everyone was maybe about 110%, but I feel like that was the direction. I feel like it was like, be daffy, be silly. You are a cartoon character. You are hopping out of the 1980s cartoon, and that's. I think that they. Again, maybe you don't like that vibe, but I think that they nailed it.
But
I think it all comes back to
Nailed
first-
it is a strong word. Nailed it is a strong word. I think
but
they
I think
achieved
they,
it.
they yeah, achieved it is the right word. But I think that so in the 90s cartoon, there's the character of April's boss, the like chief of the news. No, that was her like assistant, like the boss guy. He was like a fatter dude, but he played that same role as the police.
Yeah,
chief
he's the
does
J.
in
Jonah
this.
Jameson character.
Yeah,
right?
where he never believed any of this turtle stuff. Remember, and always thought it was a lie. And it's
Yeah,
the
but,
same
okay,
thing of
think
just
about J. Jonah
over-the-top
Jameson.
seriousness.
But that comes off as a cartoon when you look at like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with J. Jonah Jameson. She doesn't act that way. She acts like it's a real serious thing. There's the difference there of like it's the
Yeah,
same
I don't know. I
end
guess
goal,
I don't see
but
too
it's
much
the
of a difference
performance.
there.
Yeah, I mean, no, Tim's right. I mean, this is again, we're getting into the minutia here, but when you have Laura Linney acting opposite Megan Fox, and it's no disrespect to Megan Fox, but like Laura Linney's just a much higher caliber actor. If you don't believe me, watch Ozark. Jesus Christ,
So
she's
good.
phenomenal in
So
that.
good in
As
that.
long as she's great in everything she's done. I think that she just maybe was slightly miscast in that role because I mean, this is the other problem too, is like we all know who Laura Linney is, so she's bringing that caliber to that role. So you're like, well, I mean, how could you say no to that? But I don't know. I thought I don't have the bias against Megan Fox that you guys all seem to have. Maybe bias is the wrong word. I liked Megan Fox. I think she's having fun. I don't expect her to be sitting there like crying on cue. I just think like, hey, she's acting opposite a bunch of dudes in suits, and it works out. And I think Stephen Amell was hamming it up for the camera the entire time. I don't think he was. At no point did I think he was not having fun either. I don't know where you guys are getting that he's like doing this serious brooding thing. Because I mean, for Christ's sake, he takes a hockey stick out and starts taking out ninjas with hockey pucks. Like, what more do you want, Tim?
No,
Are you fucking dead inside?
Why does his mask look so bad in this?
So
Like,
cool.
they
I, thought
couldn't
it was
do
cool.
it
I
That's
never
the
said
original
that.
Casey Jones. That's a real Casey Jones mask, though. That's what it was supposed to look like.
But the TMNT Timnut, the first one, like has a
Timnut?
better looking Casey
Are we
Jones.
saying
mask, right?
Timnut now? Is that what we're saying?
I never said that he was. I never said that he was too
No, you said
serious.
it right.
I just said that he was bad. I just thought Stephen Amell was bad. But I think all the points that we're making right now, I think just go with my earlier point of I wish it was just a CG cartoon, like a really pretty, over the top.
See, that's what's funny though. Is
Animated adventure.
I had more fun watching this than the CG cartoon, and I just think it was because when I say they're not taking it too seriously, I don't mean it was like a parody, but I think the idea was like, hey, let's have fun with this, let's be creative, and let's not, I think it works better than a lot of the iterations that came before it.
I mean,
of course, it's not. Yeah,
I was gonna say I agree with you, Nick. I feel like the Brazilian plane from a plane into a waterfall with tanks thing, like I thought that
ridiculous.
all was
I loved it.
ridiculous and fun. Also, the final fight scene on the Technodrome as it being constructed around them, I thought all of that it looked visually cool, and
that was all pretty
was
much
fun.
just a 3D animation movie.
Yeah, at that point,
Right,
when
sure,
they're
but
when
it,
they're
like,
skating
it,
down
you
the
know, but it
Technodrome, you're
looks-
like, this is a CG
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
But like it looks cool. Like the visuals, like ILM did a great job. Again, Paula was working on this one. Her
There you
name.
go. Paula
in the
did Krang.
credits.
No
In the
wonder
credits.
you love it so much.
No, yeah.
wonder.
Kevin has the bias
Full
review,
transparency,
you know?
Kevin works for Paula, and Paula worked on this
100%,
movie. So
100%, yeah.
we
Now,
have
do
to
I
put
hate the way
hashtag sponsored,
the
hashtag ad.
The Krang like is designed so dumb. And it,
Oh,
like,
I
continues-
love his design.
No,
I just think it
wish
comes out of the fucking blue where you're like, hi, I'm Krang, I'm an alien. But you're like, what? Where did
I
this
did
come
think
from? But oh
the
well.
shove me into my stomach thing is so
I
dumb. But
love
like
it.
that's where it's like that is the like for made for kids.
That's
Like,
the kids movie. Yeah, that's the
like,
kids part.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, trust me, I see everyone has valid criticisms, but for some reason, this one just was like, this clicked the fun factor where I wasn't bored the entire time, like I was for like Out of Time or Turtles 3, right? Where you're like, why did anyone waste their time making this or acting in this? But
Just to go back to the Laura Linney thing, I think if that character would have been played by someone like Elizabeth Banks, who has like a little bit more like fun and like a little bit more wacky and over
Great
the top,
call.
then I think I would have probably. I think
Maybe,
that's
but
the
then it
vibe that
wouldn't-
they probably should have gone for instead of like Laura
See,
Linney, who's like actually good.
I would disagree because
Not
we
that
all-
Elizabeth
we-
Banks isn't, but
I mean, Elizabeth Banks can play it straight too. But I think that the Laura Linney character was done purposely to be a little bit more realistic so that end part would hit, right? When they come out and they talk about like, this is who we are and she's there. And if she was like a more silly character, I just don't think that moment would have actually read well.
It
on
totally
screen,
would have,
but-
because it didn't read well because of any of that. It only played well because of how it was shot and the music rise and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it was,
the music
it's
was sick.
cheap shot hype.
Yeah.
Like the writing in this movie is some of the worst I've ever seen in any franchise movie, period. And we've dealt with some really bad stuff, but on a character to character basis, and more than that, just on a what the hell's happening basis, it's just like there's no tonal consistency. And I really think that when we start talking about the cartoon versus not cartoon thing, it's like I'm not even talking about the quality of the acting. Like I think that I can't even get to that level of criticism of Megan Fox versus Laura Linney because it doesn't even matter, because what both of them are saying doesn't add up to create a consistent piece at all. And the moments on the waterfall and all that stuff, yeah, very cool, very fun to watch. And there's moments in them that are great. There's a lot of moments in them that aren't. And everything in between is really, really, really bad live action stuff that has things that range from okay moments to bad moments to just truly awful moments. And I don't think that they ever hit highs.
You didn't like Vern the Falcon?
I mean, it kind of made me laugh in a way where I'm like, I don't know if I'm laughing at it or with it or what, but like I'll give it to it. But then it's like that was kind of just the tone of every choice they made in the damn movie throughout it. Like just because the turtle van's there isn't enough for me. Like it needs to be cool. And giving it giant nunchucks, that's not what I'm looking like. That's the type of cartoonish creativity that I'm just like, all right, I guess just anything can fucking happen because Donatello's a scientist and he can make fucking anything he wants. And it's like, that wasn't set up ever. And if it's like, that's the world that we're setting up, they didn't do that. They did not do that in these two movies. So they're just kind of throwing things into reality. We are in a reality and they don't cut from that.
Well, so I mean, for me, as a rebuttal, if I may, Your Honor, I think the plot in this makes way more sense than the one that came before this, right? As far as the motivations for why people are doing them, are they good? No. Do they come out of left field? Do they just randomly introduce an interdimensional being, an alien being in the first 5 minutes of this movie? Like,
no more.
Should have set this one up a little bit. But I think it makes a lot more sense that what he's doing than poisoning the city and then trying to take it over, which was like we all agreed was just
like Shudder's
ass backward in the last movie.
one. He was just bad and I guess trying to take over the city.
I'm just bad. So in this one, I like that he was
handle it.
Yeah. And then, as far as the nunchuck stuff, like that is the kind of thing that if I were a parent with my kid, I would expect to see out of a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I guess one of the reasons why I vibe with that is I'm like, I could just imagine this being a toy. I can imagine me wanting the nunchuck, garbage truck toy. But then of course they had the comedic beat of like, yeah, they pull them out and they realize how ridiculous it is. And then Mikey just immediately loses both of them on an overpass. And you're like, well, that was it. But
Yeah, I hope that scene brought somebody joy because it sure wasn't me.
Did you realize? Do you know who Shredder is in this, by the way?
Mm-mm.
Are you aware that he's the same actor that played DK in?
I was
in
about to
Tokyo
say
Drift?
I didn't want to come off wrong. I was like,
No.
is it
Wow.
DK? Holy shit, that's
I was
awesome.
like, I think that guy was DK. I just looked it up. I was like, damn, dude, this makes me like this movie even more. Put it at
Holy
number one.
shit.
Let's go to lunch.
No wonder why he was like a lot taller and more brooding than the first Shredder we had, who was like 5'2". Like,
Yeah,
like
this guy.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
he
with
looks
that.
better.
in Thumbnail 1,
Nothing wrong with
1990.
Nothing
Well,
wrong with that.
I want
You know
to.
what
I
I
want my Shredder, like, DK
Shredded.
is like a menacing. He's got that big, tall
Like, I want
body
him wearing
frame.
purple and having blades on him. That's all I want. And we only got
I
Blade
like
like
hand.
him
four.
to be in a flowy blouse with lots of shoulder
yeah,
pads, just
yeah,
big
lots
shoulder
of 'em.
pads, like he stepped out of an 80s film.
Before we get to the plot, though, let me tell you about our sponsors.
This podcast is brought to you by HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. There's something for everyone to enjoy, with all recipes designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Enjoy a wide variety of easy, delicious options for 3 meals a day, plus every snack and special treat in between with HelloFresh Market. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Greg. I love to cook, and one of the things that got me started on cooking was these kind of packages, right? HelloFresh sends you the pre-measured ingredients. You get the instructions. You pick ahead of time what sounds good. You don't have to think on the day of. You just go straight down the checklist. You make something good, and you learn how to cook. You learn new methods. That's why I love it. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Our next sponsor, why, it's Babbel. This summer, get the most out of your travels abroad by learning the language of the destination you're going to with Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app. From ordering in restaurants or asking for directions to gaining a deeper understanding of the culture, Babbel makes the whole process of learning a new language addictively fun and easy with bite-sized lessons you can actually use in the real world. Babbel is a can't-miss travel essential. I'm not even traveling with it. Instead, Jen's mom from the one and only Quebec coming down here. I've been using Babbel. I signed up for Babbel. I'm gonna see if I can talk to her a little bit more in French than usual, because I usually can't, but I've been doing Babbel because, unlike the infamous language classes you took in high school, Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversations in mind. Things you'll get to use in everyday life. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use the promo code MORNING. That's BABBEL.com, code MORNING, for an extra 3 months. And our final sponsor of the day is Stamps.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still going to the post office, still paying full price for postage? Well, thanks to Stamps.com, you don't have to anymore. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and pay less, a lot less, with discounted rates from UPS, USPS, and more. Of course, when we were still in the office, one and only Joey Noel was using this to mail out all sorts of stuff for Patreon. We love Stamps.com. Stamps.com brings the services of the United States Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. It's a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop shipping out orders, or just navigating this hybrid work life. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Stop wasting time going to the post office and instead go to Stamps.com. There's no risk, and with our promo code KINDAFUNNY, all one word, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in KINDAFUNNY. That's Stamps.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
Now, Nick.
This is the pod for Ninja Turtles. How many things rhyme with Ninja Turtles? I didn't have a lot of time for rehearsal. Red is for Raphael. Donnie's purple.
Tim Nutt out of the shadows. If you want to go down swinging, these guys hit harder than anyone. Come on, son. You didn't like that line? I did. The turtles jump off a really tall building and land on a gargoyle. Turtle formation? I thought you said squirrel formation, Tim. You guys are making good points. You guys are making good points so far. I'm starting to rethink my opinion on this movie right now. Dottie
Two
rides-
lines into the recap.
Yeah, Dottie rides Raph into a pool, and then they flip a bunch into a manhole, and then pop out and grab a pizza, and they say, "Thanks, Kevin. See you next week." And it's funny that that's Kevin Eastman. That's cool. I didn't realize that, but that's a fun little Easter egg. They play keep away with the pizza, and we get titles over screen explaining who they are and what they do, just in case you haven't seen a Ninja Turtles property up until this point. Of course, Raph is the muscle, and then we don't really need to worry about the other ones because you all know who they are. Turns out they're sneaking into a Knicks game. Pretty cool. Is Spike Lee there? He never misses a game.
I like this little slow-mo intro thing. I just thought it was fun.
I just thought it was unnecessary. I was like, if people don't know who these turtles, this is a second movie in a franchise, but I guess kids are stupid.
Kids are dumb.
They are.
There's always
And
a
they're probably
fun to big like those type of like just intro shit that I just appreciate. But what I don't like, and this has been true for all of the CG movies to an extent, but definitely the two Michael Bay produced ones. Like I don't like it when the turtles doing their parkour type stuff doesn't feel like parkour and instead feels like some super complicated Sonic the Hedgehog Rune Goldberg machine thing where it's just kind of like they're just throwing their bodies and it's just CG messes like flip, flip, whatever. It's like I want some level of, I know this sounds stupid, but realism to the motion that they're doing, just like, or else it goes out the window of being interesting to watch and it's just kind of colors going around.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge problem with their design. Like their bodies are so big, seeing them move that way just doesn't seem like it's not realistic. Like you're not gonna see a bear jumping around like that. It just does. That's not how things move, right?
You ever seen Jungle Book? He floats down a lazy river.
Okay, but he's not doing backflips, is what I'm saying, and I think I nailed it.
but he's laying on his back, and that's pretty much the same
Why
thing,
do you
right?
have to be the way you are?
Turns out Leo and Raph guys are still arguing. Hey, Mr. Miyagi, we save the city. We should be on the Jumbotron, not above it.
Fucking nailed it.
Turns out Will Arnett was told to take all the credit for beating Shredder all by himself, and the city of New York just believed that this idiot was capable of doing that. And now he has a cool nickname, Vern the Falcon Fenwick. Even though they told Vern to take credit, they still shoot spitwads at him and embarrass him in front of his, I guess, date and or girlfriend, depending on who you ask, Alessandra Ambrosio, who's like, we've been dating for a week. April calls Donnie and tells him she's taking out Baxter Stockman, who she suspects of working with Shredder. Donnie tells her she can use the watch he got her as a birthday present to hack into Tyler Perry's iPad. So she has to get close to him, and she does so by pretty much just giving him attention. He's like, oh my God, she's talking to me. This is amazing. Baxter gets, of course, interrupted by his assistant, which interrupts the hack. So April tells him she has a boyfriend and then ghosts to follow his assistant. And instead of just kind of like sneaking up on him and getting close to him, she pulls an elaborate disguise change by taking off clothes, taking off her wig and putting on a little mini skirt with one of those schoolgirl like sweaters, and then just happens to join a group of other schoolgirls who are trolling people. What are they selling something?
We got a cowboy here. Like, was all this set up? Did they know her? I don't know.
Is it
I think they were
Halloween?
just selling like mint mobile or something like that in the middle of this train station.
The dude that lost the cowboy hat was really cool about his cowboy hat getting taken. Like, I just can't.
Yeah,
imagine
it was like,
being,
I didn't like it anyway.
You know,
This is one of the most bizarre 1 minutes of footage
weird.
ever put into a feature film.
she's wearing pants at one point.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know how she gets them off. I don't know how she gets them off.
And then somehow we don't see it because they cut away. She removes the pants while wearing the skirt while walking.
Did she have pants?
She had pants
Pretty
on.
sure.
Yeah, long
She looked
pants.
great with that wig.
And
though.
she, I mean, Kevin,
Yeah.
2 words.
In the middle of a
pants.
crowded train station, by the way.
Tearaway
not,
pants.
Yeah, it's New York.
Grand
though,
Central
right? So,
Station.
You know, like I
Tim,
mean, would anyone
listen,
stop her?
right now, I got to get you to change into a skirt. What are you going to do? You're going to put on your tearaway big boy pants that you use when you play basketball. You pull them off. You got that skirt on. Look at those legs. Nobody can tell what's going
big
on.
boy pants, Tim. Come on.
Get the big boy pants, Tim.
The big boy pants.
This was one of the, and I'm kind of almost thankful. This was like the last vestige of Michael Bay. Let's just shoot close-ups of Megan Fox's body for 5 minutes, and just so we can throw that in the trailers and get people to come watch this movie. This sticks out like a sore thumb, and I'm like, this is so degrading toward her character, who, by the way, is a very capable human being in this.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one that figures out most of this shit and is like the proactive like protagonist of this movie. I was just like, what a fucking horrible choice to do
I
to
think
her.
that there was one more scene in this that felt like it was very much touched by Michael Bay's hands, like specifically, and it was the one where as soon as the Bebop and Rocksteady get transformed, they look at their wieners and high five. That very much.
Yeah,
felt
but
like, oh.
That's fair. That's fair. But that read to me as like, this is dumb juvenile humor. This scene read to me like, hey, can we just have a part where Megan Fox hangs out of a truck and Vern stares at her ass and we have a close up of her ass, which was like in the last movie. You're like, why would you put this in? This is the stupidest thing ever, but whatever.
Sorry. So correction, she was wearing tights and a skirt.
Even
But
tearaway
still
tights,
just
Tim.
as complicated. Just as
Tim, put on your big boy tearaway tights and let's change you into a scroll girl.
But I mean, dude,
Anyway.
even like besides the gratuitous scene there, like even just setting this up where it's like, oh, Donatello gave her this watch, but the watch can only work within a couple feet. It's like, why are you convoluting this so fucking much? If you are trying to get the end goal that April meets this scientist, come up with a way that's not this fucking convoluted 2 minutes into this movie. Like, it's so silly and dumb. And it was an excuse just to get her topless somehow. So
Yeah, that part was dumb. I didn't mind the fact that she had to like use her cunning and like con him a little bit and get close to him, and that gives you an opportunity to get some character exposition down, right? Where it's like we learn who Baxter is, we learn he's not, that socially aware of what's going on, and he's easily taken over by her charms. I don't mind that stuff. I never mind when someone's like, the hack doesn't work. It's like Mission Impossible shit. Where you're like, why doesn't it work? Why can't you just?
Mission Impossible does it well. They set that up. This just literally the scene that's introduced in. You gave me this watch that doesn't work the way I need it to in this one very specific use.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Baxter. Let's see, and it totally works. She gets the hack off, and it's good. And then we go back up to the Ninja Turtles. And I got to be honest with you guys right here. I got to tell you guys something. This is my one problem with this franchise. Okay, guys, this is my one.
Just one.
My only problem with this franchise is that every time they order pizza, these are 6'4", 300-pound turtles. And every time they order a pizza, and it takes them fucking 20 minutes to flip up. They got to climb that fucking building so they can jump off of it first and swing like Spider-Man to get the pizza. And Tim, they order one pizza. And it's like, what
now, here's the thing.
are you doing?
Here's the thing. Reptiles eat once a week. Like an alligator will possibly once every 2 weeks. An alligator will eat a whole chicken, and that's enough because they're cold-blooded. So their blood doesn't circulate and maintain their body heat the same way. So they're very like efficient. They also, but like, realistically, they would have to like sit in the sun for.
Let's put it this way, Kevin. Yeah, it's very true.
Maybe not be able to
let's
do the
put it this way.
backflips they do.
I only need Andy. I only need one piece of pizza. But the last time I ate pizza, I ate 5 pieces of pizza.
Oh yeah,
especially when I'm watching a Knicks game, right? I'm watching my Knicks, Andy, my New York Knicks. Those are my team. I'm watching them lose.
You're watching DeAndre Jordan wrestling the ball, but he steps on pizza, and also Matt Barnes is back there. And I'm looking through the IMDb. I just had to catch all the NBA stars that were back.
Yeah,
later on, we get Carmelo Anthony, who was just god awful.
He's just
holy
like
shit.
I love it. This has the best line of the whole movie. That was almost the line that I read. It was like, "There's pizza on my Nike."
That's New York.
So good. Anyway, then Mikey, as they're on the way home, sees a Halloween parade and decides to join it so he can come out of the shadows and into the streets.
Oh,
with his
that is why the girls are dressed up then, if it's Halloween.
Yeah, no, I don't think so though. I think that they were like,
maybe they're
headed
headed to this parade thing. Maybe they're.
That's possible. That's possible.
Why
I don't
were
know
they
why they would
stopping
be
random strangers.
Maybe they were drunk, and when
Maybe
you're drunk,
the random
Evan,
strangers were stopping them.
That's true. That's true.
No,
that makes
we
more
see
sense. See,
them-
Tim, maybe we just didn't watch this movie
Maybe they
closer.
just-
Like, all the answers are there. Maybe, like, I bet if
They
Kevin
were all
Googled
dressed-
max
were they-
Wi-Fi for iWatch, it's only 3 feet.
What year is this?
Subtext.
The max Wi-Fi for
2016.
an iWatch. I hate you, Nick.
Anyway, oh my God, this is the coolest part of this whole fucking movie, Tim. How have we never bought one of these costumes before? He sees a guy in a Transformers costume who dresses like Bumblebee,
So
and the guy
fucking cool.
That is
it's like those little kids. It's all those
that's
videos of
so
little
cool.
kids.
That's so cool. And then of course he gets pulled back down into the and then they're like, you can't do that because we yada yada yada. People see us, they're gonna freak out.
He was like, that was the coolest thing I've ever experienced. It's like, dude, you skateboard through tunnels, like, and you
You
do
hoverboard.
loops.
Why don't
Skateboard
they
pack.
sell the
Yeah.
technology that Donnie's inventing? Like
They can make a lot of.
The
That's probably what they do,
hoverboard.
right?
No, I mean, I don't think so. We don't see any hoverboards out
They have
out
to
in the
be
real world.
secret.
Remember in the
Kevin.
CG version where
Yeah,
Donnie
but
was
they just
operating
have
the call
April.
center?
They have April front like she developed it, like hologram watches. No one else has hologram watches.
Pretty cool.
Sell that.
Pretty
Sell
cool.
that technology.
I know. Good point. Make $1 billion. Then you can just buy and sell shredders. Let's see. Shredder gets loaded into a van with a human Bebop and Rocksteady, played by that's Sheamus, right? So we said.
Yeah, the
I don't know
wrestler.
who the other actor is. The other
Is he
actor,
still wrestling? Sheamus still wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
here's my question.
Is
So
his
they're
wrestling name Sheamus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his name. Don't break kayfabe, you know.
his real name is Sheamus, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try harder
funny,
next
it's
time. I'm
funny
sorry,
they're
guys.
trying. Thanks, Nick. It's
Kevin,
funny
were
that
you trying to
they-
say don't break kayfabe?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Thanks, man. Interesting that they're like, hey, we got to transport this extremely dangerous criminal, but also just these two other guys that are idiots.
His
Like,
real
why-
name's Steven.
That's just not good.
Boo! Way to ruin the fantasy for me. God damn it.
By the way, as a random side note, Rocksteady, or the other one, was played by an actor named Gary Anthony Williams, who I had never seen in anything. But right before I watched this movie, I watched a movie on Netflix called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. And he plays a detective in it. And he's great in that. And it's a good movie.
Is
But I
that
was
not
like,
the-
that's so weird that I'm seeing this guy. I saw this guy in 2 movies in the span of like 2
Stewie's
days.
dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Who's that? I never watched Malcolm in the Middle.
Really? Oh, Nick,
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Is that the one with that actor that Andy likes a lot because he made meth?
Mm-hmm.
Brian
Cool.
Cranston, yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Brian Cranston.
Continuing
no
on.
one watched-
Noted
no one
myth
watched-
cook,
no one
Bryan
watched Malcolm in the Middle?
I mean, it was a very popular show. It's what
Well,
made
I'm not
Frankie
talking about
Muniz
just no one
huge.
in general. I'm talking about this specific group.
No, I never watched it.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Anyway, back to the plot. He gets loaded in there, and Stephen Amell's there, and then someone's like, "Hey, Casey Jones, don't screw this up, or you're on this watch forever." And Casey's like, "I play hockey." The Turtles come back and get interrupted, and they interrupt Splinter's Nirvana, with he's about to achieve in 3 seconds, but of course they screw it up, which is again another reason to not have kids. He tells the boys to go get them, and they head into the Tortuga Brothers garbage truck, which I
And then
think is
Leo
awesome.
goes, "Thanks, Dad."
Thanks, Dad.
He didn't say
Thanks,
it like he didn't say it like Nebula, but
Give it to
still,
me.
but
Yeah,
the idea is there.
That's great. Baxter plays Overwatch with Karai as Casey Jones talks shit to Shredder, Bebop and Rocksteady. I think this part's hilarious where they're like geeking out over Shredder. So Bebop tells Rocksteady, he's like, "Just speak from your heart, man." And they're like, "And we like you a lot." And then Shredder's goons show up on really, really cool colored bikes. And at first, Casey Jones is like, "Hey, keep an eye on those motorcycles."
Fuck,
I'd have been like
that's
this.
annoying, though.
They're for sure coming to try and get Shredder.
Yeah,
like,
let's load the guns immediately.
yeah, I
But
load the
he
shotgun.
was so annoying the entire time.
So fucking annoying. Casey Jones is
Unnecessarily,
cool.
Constantly talking shit.
Talking
And it's
shit,
like,
dude.
don't. But also, I'm shocked that Shredder didn't like kill him as soon as he got out, just for funsies.
I don't think Shredder kills anyone in this whole. I don't think Shredder actually does anything in this movie.
Except
He
for
gets
get
frozen.
put in a little ice block and put away.
With a
That's
bunch of
true.
other.
funny-looking
Useless.
scene. What a great
also-
one great shot that I love though. 1 motorcycle, 12 motorcycles.
Yeah, that was cool.
that was
Always cool.
fucking
Nick.
cool.
That's a ninja move right there. Hide your number.
Of course, Joey.
I don't believe that Stephen Amell would have turned into or Casey Jones would have turned into a corrections officer. I
No.
don't buy. I don't like that. He was a
No.
vigilante. There's no way he
Wait,
turns
Well, I
into
think
an or
he
he's a
starts
narc.
that, and I
Was he
think
not
he's
a
gonna
cop?
be a
I understand that
vigilante.
it's a different.
No,
He's a
what-
corrections officer.
I
He's
thought
a
he was
cop.
I thought he was a cop.
Yeah, it's a
Those are
cop.
different things.
He works
No, those are
for
different-
he works for
those
like
are
the prison, though, doesn't he?
Those are different things.
Yeah, cops and corrections.
I'm pretty
officers are
sure he was a
different.
cop.
Either
but he
way,
was-
I don't like that Casey Jones like goes from a vigilante to like a narc.
His dream was to
essentially.
be a detective.
That's Officer Jones. And one day I'm gonna be a detective. Shut the fuck up.
Shut
Like
the
what a
fuck
terrible
up.
line.
Yeah.
Terrible fucking line.
In Lower Lamy's like this. I'm the chief of police.
Like-
You're never going to be a detective in this city.
It's
I'm
like
the one that signs off on that.
you're reading that like a fucking 12-year-old whose teacher is doubting him, and one day I'm gonna be the best ever. Like, shut the fuck up. You're an adult. You're like 30 years old in this movie, dude. Terrible.
All of the motorcycles planting bombs on the cars around them, blow them up, and then they climb up onto the van using cool electrical climbers while Casey chastises his driver for not loading the shotgun. Suddenly, a horn plays. the song.
Why did
the
you
very first
shock
part of
them like that?
Turtles in a half shell. And the boys roll in, shooting manhole covers all over the place, and they got these
Fucking
massive
love that. I
nunchucks.
love
And
this.
the little kid in me is like, "Get him,
The
get him,
massive
Mikey! You've
nunchucks-
always been my favorite."
The massive nunchucks are dumb, but I really enjoyed the fact that it shot manholes, and like just it's this giant vehicle with all these lights, and I that did it for me. I was like, oh,
When
this
it
is
launches the
first time.
sword, I was just wanting it to like cut
So
through
but
Shredder.
it's so ridiculous, and it's such a like cartoon in real life. I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Some cool stuff here. Some cool choreography too. Where Raph jumps out of the back of the car, and then he says the world's stupidest line, where he's like, "That's how I roll, and that's how you roll," and then he kicks the guy off the bike.
That's a
and
good one-liner.
That's
That's
why I could not disagree with you more, Ken, man. You say that there was some cool choreography. Like, that was a scene that should have been so awesome. And like, I want to say I felt nothing, but I did feel something. I was just like, oh no.
Tim, you're so
didn't like it.
Just try to enjoy life.
I'm not, man. I have the lowest levels of
Every movie we
expectations
talk
for
about, you're always so
a
upset
fucking
and,
modern
like,
movie.
silly things. Just enjoy
I have
it.
a really
silly
important-
things like the Ninja Turtles doing cool shit.
They were
I
doing
have a really
cool
important
shit.
piece of information for you all.
Yeah.
The actor that played the one that was in the movie that Nick was talking about, the guy that played Bebop, was a voice in Britney's Dance Beat, the video game, and I just
Cool.
feel like we all should really appreciate
The-
that.
the-
Let's
the
take a
voice who
moment
played
of
who, Joe?
silence.
Oh, he was in Britney's Dance Beat, the critically acclaimed video game.
Oh wow.
I
God.
beat that game. I platinumed that game.
Yeah.
Would you
Wow.
believe that, Tim?
No,
Yeah, it's crazy.
lying, guys.
PS2
They're
game.
they're called Toodles. You got me, you fucker. You got me. Anyway,
It's
the foot
always
roll
funny
in
how
helicopter.
easy it is to know that you got Nick, because he'll
Yeah.
tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
was like,
he'll get all
Toodles.
worked up and try to make fun of it by being like, "Look how dumb it is. Look how dumb it is." It got me
Oh,
though.
man, I'm trying to remember. Listen. It wasn't my fault that they didn't get across that fucking Sub-Zero's great grandmother on his dad's side was the fucking was the main character in this movie. Okay, I didn't
It was so
understand
clear.
it.
It was so clear. And that was
Sometimes
a
if I
girl.
look down to type, I gotta look up, and it's I lose some of the nuances. For instance, I didn't know Megan Fox smiled this entire movie. Had no idea she was smiling. Apparently, she never stopped smiling. Anyway, let's see. Whatever. We'll skip ahead here. They start to lose, and then someone's like, "Let's teleport." Baxter's like, "Let's teleport Shredder out of here." And again, you want to talk about some critiques you have on here about the technology. You got teleportation technology. Why are you even worried about anything else? It's just fucking
Well, it's
that right
clearly-
there could make you rule the world.
But
You
like,
wouldn't need anything else.
Within half a second, it's very clear. The response to "let's teleport him early" thing is like, "Oh, I don't know if it works yet."
Yeah,
And then they
but that's why you
teleport him,
hire a
and he
bunch of people.
disappears
You make
for
them sign
2
a
days.
release.
You
Yeah,
get your atoms all jumbled up.
exactly. Are you the
don't
same
wanna do that.
person? We don't know.
You gotta have your atoms in order. You know what I mean?
Of course, unfortunately, Shredder's teleportation gets hijacked by none other than Krang. Turns out the teleportation device is part of an arc capacitor, which Craig launched onto the Earth dimension, but when he shipped it there, it broke into 3 pieces.
I love it.
Laughing?
It
Krang.
sounded like you said Craig.
Oh, sorry,
Everyone's
Krang.
favorite alien, Craig.
Craig. Anyway, Craig wants Shredder to collect the pieces, all 3 pieces, so he can reassemble it and bring his war machine, the Technodrome, to Earth. Also cool. Never been a cooler name than Technodrome.
Yeah,
That was
Our
fucking
stream and
rad.
Technodrome, baby. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah. Crane gives Shredder a big crystal to help him deal with the turtles, and then orders his robot to push him back into his tummy. Like, push me back in, Kevin. Kevin, push me back in.
Do you think he likes being pushed in? I know that it looked like
He fucking loves being pushed.
It
back
looked
in,
like he
dude.
didn't, but I think that like that's part of the kink, you know? Like,
Yeah. Oh
mash
my
face,
God. Yes.
Mash my face,
Get
grab
me
that
there.
tentacle, pull it.
Oh God,
There
yeah.
it
Pull
is.
it, squeeze it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All
The
right.
turtles figure out that Baxter's behind the teleportation device and want to hack into his mainframe, but the sun's coming up soon. Hey guys, sun's coming up. Big guy, sun's coming up. So April has to go in it alone because if anyone sees them in the light of the day, they'll freak out, and rightfully so. Laura
Wait,
Linney
hold on.
come-
This was one of the moments that I really liked in this movie. For the wow, this is so bad. I'm enjoying it. Where April's just like, oh no, it's daytime.
Mhm.
You can't go out now.
They're like
It's
vampires. I was like,
what
why are
the
they
hell was
vampires?
this delivery? Like, that's so funny.
Dumb. Then Casey, Laura Linney comes in and hands Casey his ass and then takes over the investigation. Casey tells them about the manhole covers and they suspend him. So he decides to take matters into his own hands and become a hockey player. He decides first to check out Bebop and Rocksteady's favorite bar because they're probably not stupid enough to go there, or are they? But Shredder and Karai get there first.
Of course, they're dumb enough to do that. Like, he's so
and they hire them as errand boys. Leo tells Splinter he's sorry for failing, and Splinter tells him that as long as he keeps the team together, it'll be okay, but also maybe stop failing. Casey gets rough with the dude from Oz while Ice plays on the jukebox, and the dude from Oz gives up the GPS coordinates for the phones he gave Bebop and Rocksteady. And I'll tell you what, man, hearing Vanilla Ice, I'm just like, why didn't he get the job scoring this entire movie? Because
I love you so much that you just said while Ice plays. Like, calling Vanilla Ice just Ice is so great.
Iceman, man. He's Iceman.
This scene is so weird of like, all right, he's just going to destroy shit in his bar, and then the guy just quickly gives up the thing, or it's like, whatever. It's a cartoon.
Anyway.
Andy nailed it, though, a second ago. Like, he was saying the Stephen Amell line when he was just like, oh, like, they wouldn't be stupid enough to go to the bar. What they should have done, hard cut to the bar. They're in the bar. They don't do that. What do, Andy?
It's just that line of it's Stephen Amell saying a line.
Answering his own question.
They would be.
Yeah, they would be.
Of course they would be. Yeah, it's also just poorly delivered too. But I hate this whole sequence of him throwing shit and breaking bottles and pissing off the guy from the Geico insurance commercials.
Yeah.
Wait, what insurance is he from?
I think you're right.
I think
He's like Misfortune.
No, I think he's
Allstate.
Allstate.
He's Allstate because he's Mayhem, right?
Mayhem.
Mayhem, you're
He's
right.
also in Law and Order SVU. He plays a recurring character in that. He's a great actor.
This whole sequence of just
Great actor.
him breaking glass and being like, "Where are
Great
they?
strong
Where
words.
are they?" It's like, you're not intimidating, dude. Like,
Yeah,
your
I'm like,
voice
oh,
does
I
not.
have insurance and I'm getting this all on tape. I mean, this
Yeah.
is clearly illegal.
Allstate.
Let's see. April sneaks into. Shredder gives Baxter the Dark Crystal, so he can turn Bebop and Rocksteady into Bebop and Rocksteady. Meanwhile, April heads to Baxter's office. We get some updates here. She sneaks in and watches them dart the two idiots and turn them into the wonderful Warthog and Rhino that we know and love. But she manages to grab one of the darts as Casey pulls up outside and sees the light show 10 floors up. Tyler Perry explains why they're rhinos and warthogs, and it makes absolutely no sense, but who cares? He's like, there's some latent DNA in him that must have come out. I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Who cares?
Whatever you say, Tyler Perry.
Yep.
I really like the way Shredder shot them, where he's like, they loads the gun and he holds it sideways and he looks over and it's like, and it's just like perfectly hits him. And it's something about that. It's just that same cartooniness. They're all transforming. I hate everything they say, but I don't love the design, but it works.
There's a general sort of like fun factor in that these two characters just don't give a shit about anything. And they're just having a good time, which I think, again, maybe not the best vibe for a live action movie, but that's what they were going for. And they certainly accomplished something. Anyway, Tyler Perry explains why they're rhinos.
Sorry. And Tim, this is to what you said earlier. They really nailed the cartoon. Like, these are just two idiots that are okay with being monsters because they're slightly more powerful. And they really named it. Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, but just the actual cartoons.
I always call them Bulk and Scully.
Hey,
Shredder orders them to prepare the entire container so that they can make more rhinos and warthogs and whatever latent DNA Tim's got in him. I'd like to think it's a little brown bear. And you come out and you're a little tall. You're a little less tall than you are, but you got bigger shoulders. Let's see. April runs in and steals the purple canister and hits the emergency button on her way out, which locks everyone in. Casey spots her being chased by a couple foot soldiers and decides to suit up in his old hockey gear, which looks exactly like the mask from the toy that I had. So I was like, yippee! And then April gets surrounded, and it looks pretty dire until Casey starts hucking pucks at their faces. The cops show up. Yeah, the cops show up and grab the ooze canister while one more Foot Clan member chases April into a dead end. Casey's body checks his ass into the next week, and April tells him, and then he tells April his name, but she can't hear him through the mask. So she says, Stacy Moans.
Why? Why would they
what
like?
A funny line.
So bad.
It's a cartoon, you guys.
But it's also like the mask doesn't cover that much of the. It's like open. It's like this.
We've heard him fine the whole time.
Hear me.
I tested it out, everyone. I tested it out. I'm gonna say Tim's name right now through what I think the mask would sound like. Stacy Moans. See, it always
Thank you, Nick. Thank
Yeah.
you.
sounds
We all
like
saw
that.
it coming, but it was worth it.
I think I knew I was in for a bad time with Stephen Amella's Casey Jones. The moment that the unknown annoying character is in that cop car in the first
Yep.
sequence that we already passed, and you're like, you guys got to get some hobbies. Me, I'm into hockey. I was like, oh no,
no.
Like, I just
Please,
kind of
no,
sank into
not
my
you.
seat. Yeah, I didn't even like, and it's not that I even like. I don't know. I know people like him on Arrow. I'm sure he's a capable actor, but I
I'm
just
not.
like that sequence and the character that he's playing to be Casey Jones. And me, I'm into hockey, and you want the audience to be like, oh fuck yeah, that's gonna be Casey Jones, and it isn't cool at all.
It is explaining away something that did not need to be explained away. If you grew up on the East Coast and you just happen to play like hockey, I don't think we need that much exposition for it. Like I don't think it's that. I guess maybe though, if he opened up the back of his trunk and there was nothing but hockey gear in there, you might want a little bit of an explanation from it. But I'll just say this before I call on Tim, and Joey will appreciate this. Stephen
She
Amell,
won't.
he's no Robbie Amell. What's up, Tim?
I agree.
Kind of funny.
In a good solution, just putting it out there. Instead of making him a cop, just make him a hockey player.
Revolutionary.
Well, see, I think
anything.
I don't think so.
I think that this was supposed to be a Casey Jones origin story where they were like, he's a trained corrections officer and he gets kicked off the force, and now he's going to become a vigilante.
He's a cop, just to be clear. He's
Yeah.
a cop.
Yeah, I mean, hockey players know how to fight too because of hockey.
He has never been a cop in any iteration of the story. He has been a hockey player in every iteration of the
Well,
story.
you know what, Tim? There's a first time for everything. Like April's never dressed up and as hot schoolgirl cosplay before either. But
That
now we
is-
got that.
That
No
is
one
a
asked
very
for
good
it.
point. I
we
was just
got
trying
it.
to solve your problem of if they opened the trunk and there was hockey gear. That'd be weird. But it wouldn't be weird if he was a hockey player. That's all I'm saying. We can move on.
It is one of those things where you go, as a cop, if I were his boss and I was like, okay, so you tracked down 3 armed assailants who were dressed as ninjas and highly capable fighters, and all you had in the back of your car was a hockey stick and a mask, where was the shotgun that you're supposed to have in the back of your car? And he'd be like, but he's like, I like hockey.
But
I
he
like
wasn't.
hockey.
He wasn't in a squad car. He was in.
Yeah, but he's a cop, isn't he? Isn't he required to carry a gun on him at all times?
Well, first
Still
of all,
not a cop.
They've also like.
Is he
he's
a
in
cop or not a
suspension.
cop? Because people
He's a
keep saying he's a cop.
corrections officer.
Kevin said he was a cop.
Joey, he's a cop. I'm pretty sure he's a cop.
I looked at the Wikipedia. Definitely says he's a corrections officer.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Joey.
Are they not required to carry guns with them wherever they go? Because I thought that's the whole
Absolutely not.
purpose of why people become cops.
No.
Well,
Absolutely.
Wait, then how
maybe
did the
all they're allowed
police
to carry
chief
with them is hockey
suspend him?
sticks.
Great question. I don't know.
That's why I thought he was a cop, because she's like, oh, it's not Jones again. I thought he was like Dark Knight, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get in the car, we're like a SWAT guy, and he reports to Laura Lynn. Turns out Laura Lynn is not even a cop either. She's just hanging out, and everyone's like, you're the only capable actor in this thing. You get the role. And that was it. Anyway, back to the plot. Where the heck was I? The cops show up and grab the ooze, body checks. It doesn't matter. The turtles finally show up in case he thinks they're aliens. So they fuck with him a little bit. Mikey makes introductions and it's funny. And April updates them on the purple ooze situation, giving Donnie the dart to inspect. Mikey asks April and Casey Michael asks if April and Casey are a thing, and they all head down to the secret lair. And I'm very happy that this is pretty much the only time we get him blatantly flirting with someone.
Wait, hold
Donnie-
on. I also just love that you called Michelangelo Michael.
Michael. Listen, man, you know what? I'm still thinking about ice playing on the juice box in the sea before. Donnie thinks he can use the DNA to reverse engineer some shit and in the dart to find Bebop and Rocksteady because it gives off some sort of radioactive signal. And hopefully that'll lead them directly to Shredder. Casey spots Splinter, who was listening to Lionel Richie, and the turtles all tell Casey to go hunt him down. They're like, we see him sometimes. You got to go get him, which of course does not end well for him. But shout out to Splinter for having great taste in music. Casey wants to bounce until he spots the Tortuga Brothers truck that saved his ass. And April tells him, if you want to go down swinging, these guys hit harder than anyone. To which I would respond, I don't want to go down swinging. I'd actually just like to solve this case and go home, maybe get a slice or two of pizza on the way back. Shredder orders Karaya to nab the ooze from the police station while Donnie figures out that the purple ooze can turn turtles into humans. And this is the big problem. He's like, I guess it could be life-changing. And then Leo goes, we don't need that kind of change. And he tells Donnie to keep it to himself. But there are no secrets in the secret lair, Tim. Mikey.
Oh, shit. Nick, that was good. That was really good.
Shredder heads to the museum and grabs the second piece with relative ease. I thought there was going to be a scene here, but now he just kind of walks in and grabs it and then sends Bebop and Rocksteady to...
He didn't need Bebop or Rocksteady.
Nope, he could have just walked in and grabbed this thing. There's no security.
Yeah.
And then
he sends
goes
Bebop and
off.
Rocksteady to Brazil. Mm-hmm.
And like maybe 15 minutes later, the turtles get there, and they're like, "Hey, the alarm! Like the cops are coming in 30 seconds." It's like you had time to come over from wherever your lair is to this museum. Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm watching a Netflix documentary right now called "This Is a Robbery." It's a 6-part documentary on art theft, the biggest art theft that took people 50, or like it took them like 35 years to solve this. So maybe by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 7, we'll get the cops arriving to this museum, and that'll be a huge reveal for everyone. Like, hey, remember this? And Tim will be like, I do, because I study this shit.
Hey, Mr. Miyagi, remember this?
Hey, Mr. Miyagi, we got a big rat, and he's listening to Lionel Richie's all night long. Donnie detects traces of the Neutronian coming from the space rock, which means whatever it was inside of that rock might help Shredder open up a portal to another dimension where all life forms are bodiless brains. Raph talks April and Casey into sneaking them into headquarters so they can steal more of that. It was unbeknownst to Leo and Donnie, but they need a big gun, man. They need a distraction. Who do they recruit, Tim? That's right. Burn the Falcon Fenwick. They sneak into the police headquarters, which seems odd since Casey is still technically a corrections officer or a cop. Maybe he could have just walked his way in, but we don't know what he does for a living. It's possible he's a criminal, from what I'm gathering. Joey thinks he's a corrections officer. Kevin says he's an FBI agent. Tim thinks he's a cop. Andy thinks he works for the Garbage People, Garbage Association of America.
A part-time at Olive Garden.
Yeah, part-time at Olive Garden. Hey, man, all the breadsticks you could eat when I was in college, I fucking loved that. I should have worked at Olive Garden. Let's see. But the footer already got to the container, so Mikey calls in Leo and Donnie as backup. Laura Linney spots the turtles, and some cops call them monsters, but Casey Jones and April intervene so they can get away. Mikey is taken aback by the fear and hatred he saw in the eyes of the cops, but Splinter tells him that people fear what they don't understand. Splinter then tells Leo he should listen to everyone's point of view instead of making them blindly listen to him. Donnie gets a ping on Bebop and Rocksteady, who are apparently headed to Brazil. So just to Tim, I just wanted to let you know that if you're worried about realism in this movie, okay, and your big criticism was that his watch only had a 3-foot radius, well, he solves it by the end because he can get a fucking radioactive signal from a plane that's headed to Brazil, which has to be at least a half a mile, if not a mile away, from where they're currently at. So don't worry about it. Let's see. They hop on the next flight out of JFK while Laura Linney interrogates April and Casey, and things do not look good for them. Casey tells her the turtles are not the ones you should be chasing. And she's like, they're monsters. I'm going to chase them and hunt them down. Bebop and Rocksteady find the missing third piece, and Baxter gets really excited about it. Meanwhile, the turtles ride in the cargo department to Brazil, but Donnie realizes that Bebop and Rocksteady are already on their way back. And it's like, oh, I guess we're not getting a scene in Brazil. So they decide to jump from plane to plane. And if you don't think that this is the spiritual successor to the building to building to building jump in Fast and Furious 7, Tim, a part of you is dead, and we need to resuscitate it. How does that make you feel?
Get him ready, please.
How does it make you feel?
Resuscitate me.
This was weird. I was like, wait, they're going to Brazil now? And then they're like, no, we're not going to Brazil. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we don't have to wait till
they are in Brazil. That whole
in like the airspace of Brazil.
Well, no, but they go in the river.
It was just weird because you'd think like maybe, I don't know, first off, why they had to be in Brazil. Like, why wouldn't they just be like, all the pieces are in New York? But
Nick, that wouldn't make any cool sense. You know?
They were like, get him on a plane. It was just one of those things where like, it screams, we needed a slight rewrite on this because you're like, oh, they're going to go to Brazil. And there's this big promise. Like when you say in the first act that one of the pieces is in Brazil, you're like, okay, we're going to get them in Brazil. But I guess they do. I guess we get the river scene where they're floating down like the river. Cool. So I guess technically we did get a Brazil scene. Anyway, I like this part where they have to jump from plane to plane and everyone goes balls to the wall except for Raph, who's like, I'm going to do it, Mr. Miyagi. I got to jump out of the plane. But he ends up
like who? Who's he channel? Sir
Oh my
Vincent
God.
Diesel.
What would Vin Diesel do?
Great.
Oh my god, that
what
was
I
such
have
a
to
good
The
one.
one time I
imagine-
legitimately laughed in this movie.
I'm
Johnny,
going to tell you one thing right now.
Don't get cold. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy this movie.
I'm telling you guys right now, there's got to be a moment in Tim's life where he's tired, right? He just realized the production meeting's at 9:00 and I have to wake up early for this. Moose kept him up all night. Gia's out of Cheetos or whatever the heck's going on in the Gettys household. And he's like, I just
Cheetos.
got to fucking rally for this day. I got 8 hours of content. What would Vin Diesel do? And then he just smokes a shit ton of weed and makes one Instagram video. That's terrible. That's what Vin Diesel would do.
That is what Vin Diesel would do.
God bless.
Anyway, he jumps in and slams right onto the cockpit, and they make it aboard and kick all the foot off the plane. So Bebop and Rocksteady, it's their turn. Bebop immediately mounts a 50 caliber gun on a tank and blows the cockpit apart. So Donnie tries to leave, level out the plane while the rest of the turtles play hot potato with the missing piece. Donnie uses his bow staff as a flight stick, but the plane is worse for the wear, so they crash into the river, losing Raph along the way. Raph makes it ashore and comes eye to eye with the turtle. And then he says, well, this is awkward. And it's really funny. Did we lose Andy?
Yeah, he has to
Looks like
restart his
it.
computer for some something.
Godforsaken reason.
Got it. The turtles surf the rapids in pursuit of the MacGuffin, and they get outplayed by Bebop. When Bebop brings in the tank, they end up going over the rapids without the case.
Fucking
then-
awesome visuals. Weird bonkers shit that if you think about for a second, it just like
Don't.
ruins it.
Don't.
But if you don't, this is a fun scene. The tank coming out of the water with Bebop on it. It's
Right.
like, okay, cool. A lot of cool stuff going on here.
And then Leo, of course, instead of being a good leader, is just like, thanks, guys, real good teamwork. And everyone's like, they had a tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Joe?
I did enjoy the dialogue here. I mean, it was a little stilted, and I enjoyed it for just this one scene, not in the context of the rest of it. But the talk about like the words associated with each one of them, where it's like Michelangelo has the heart, Leo has the strategy, Raph has the instinct.
Mhm.
Like, and I like how that came back at the end when they
Yeah.
kind of each said it to each other. I'm just like, that was cool.
It's one of those things where like I guess they just have to do that every single movie because that's what every single movie is about. Them
But
not working
this
as a
one-
team and then working
Exactly.
as a team.
But this one, like, I think nailed it with the words the best.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
trying to
that-
find some positives here,
I
guys.
think they
Come on.
express themselves. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Laura Linney tells April she'll never get a phone call until she tells them everything about the turtles. So Casey picks her pocket and calls Vern to find more footage from Baxter's lab. I want you to be the hero New York City thinks you are. And Vern's like, I can do that. Then Vern uses the key to the city to easily sneak into a very, very highly secured and very top secret lab and finds a fourth camera hidden behind a wall. And then he goes right on, like behind a clock, and he goes right on time, Kevin. And then he rips the cable out all the way around, and that leads right back down to a little panel that's sitting
That's
underneath the
funny.
camera, and
That
it's
was a funny little thing, yeah.
hilarious. On the plane ride back, the turtles are all argue about each other, about their worst traits. And he says, we may be brothers, but we're not a team. And then Leo walks away again. It's like, where are you going to go? You're on a fucking plane, bro. We can see you. Baxter combines all three parts of the machine and turns it on with a lot of electricity. And then he gets super horny for Galileo and Steve Jobs. And he's like, they can eat my ass. And it's like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah. He said that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, Tyler
Wow,
Perry.
Jesus,
Says
Tyler.
Galileo and Steve Jobs can eat my ass.
Tone it down a little bit. You know what I mean? We don't need that. It's a kid's movie.
Eat my ass. Why did you say it like that?
I'm so tired. Vern gives Laura Linney the footage of Bebop and Rocksteady, which immediately clears April and Casey's names. She puts out an APB on Baxter Stockman, but her orders are cut short when a massive portal opens up in the sky, which eventually reveals parts of the Technodrome that start coming through it. Quote, if Krang finishes building this thing, it will end the world. It'll be the end of the world. And everyone just knows that. They're just like, it's going to be the end of the world.
I feel like if there's a giant metal floating thing constructing itself in the middle of the sky, I feel like that's the vibe it gives out, you know?
Probably, but the optimist in me thinks maybe it's going to be a cool sky mall.
No,
And
it
they'll
didn't.
sell
I
cool Sky Mall
guarantee
things.
If that happens, you'd be freaking out, being like, "This is it."
Oh,
I
I
have
would
to go find
immediately
some
smoke a
cocaine
cigarette.
to
I'm like,
do.
I'm going to
I'd have to go
cocaine and
find some
cigarettes.
cane, yeah.
Probably just a pack of Camel Lights. I'm like, I'm going to slow play these little jewels. That's good living, Tim. Let's see. Okay, well, one more thing we forgot to just kind of slide in there. The only people that can take advantage or handle the situation of the turtles, because the atmosphere surrounding that thing will be toxic for people with standard cardio systems. So the turtles might be the only ones who could come close to shutting the Technodrome down. But we're going to need the cops at our backs, not trying to lock us up. Hey, Mr. Miyagi, the cops didn't like us so much.
I was about to say, the way you're reading this whole sentence, I'm expecting you to say, and Mr. Miyagi, our cardiovascular systems.
Wait, so how is the Shredder not like dead?
I don't know. Oh, they give him a helmet. Remember, Baxter makes him the helmet. That's like
that's right.
that has a breathing apparatus in it, which I actually think is cool. I like the look of the Shredder in this. I think they kind of had a little bit more grounded reality with that. Well, shoulder pads too.
Another compliment I will give this movie is it's anything but boring. Like, it moves, and I feel like you're forced to pay attention enough because every line is setting up what happens next, and it kind of just keeps going. Cool action scenes enough throughout, and like I feel like that's kind of all the movie is just 3 or 4 set pieces that are just backed up together, and it doesn't feel like an hour 52.
It goes by.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, Donnie tells them that they do have another choice. If they drink the purple ooze, they'll look like humans, but be the same on the inside, which makes absolutely no sense in the science of this world, but let's just go with it.
I wanted to see it just to see it.
Me too.
Yeah.
What happens to your shells? What fucking do you? I want to see you grow ears. I wanted to see it. I was really hoping to see some
we
shit.
saw the drips on the hand. It just magically two bones became 4. It wasn't
which
painful
is
at all.
like exactly, Kevin.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe
It would
just
hurt.
how
It would hurt. That's why
how
every time,
fine
Think
he
it
was
would
like.
hurt?
Check this out. I have 4 fingers now. Like,
It's-
whoa, what the
I can't-
fuck? Everybody, come look at this. Like,
That'd be cool.
I
That'd be
can't remember
cool.
what movie.
It's a
But
fun
there's
party
a
trick.
movie where like it was werewolves, and then like when they turn into a werewolf, it's like super painful. Like their bones
it's
are
Underworld.
cracking and stuff. Is it Underworld?
I just
Any
didn't know
werewolf
that
movie, actually too, but I mean,
American
Underworld went
Werewolf
really
in Paris too, right?
American Werewolf in Paris looks terrifyingly painful.
I just didn't know that werewolf regeneration was similar to TMNT turning into human regeneration.
Well, again, guys, if you had to pick
No, sorry,
between
it's
being
not.
a vampire or werewolf, clearly the choice.
It's not. Literally, no one agreed with you.
Sexy werewolf.
And it was so like everyone was so against you that like you got embarrassed and doubled down.
Everyone
again.
was so against me that people stopped listening to me as to why it was better to be a werewolf. And everyone's like, "You're just wrong." And then I think someone
Well, you
muted my
kept
mic,
saying,
and I was
the
like, "I
same thing
can't."
over and over again. You kept being like werewolf, woo, you know what I mean? Flannel
Can I have a
shirts.
normal
And
life?
it's like that's not.
You ever seen Joe Manganiello naked? I have, and it is impressive. I'd wear his wolf. All right, let's go back to this.
Mean.
It doesn't mean
Just let it lie there. Like, there's
No,
no
let
way
him
to
sit in it.
answer. Yeah.
let him sit in it. Yes, let
me
him sit in it.
just sit with my shame. Okay. I mean,
Where
and
his wolf?
the eventual one comment that is either way too supportive of that statement or just says ew. Right. Leave a comment in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Let Tim know what was the thing I
Let
said
Tim
about
know.
doesn't fucking matter. Let's move on.
Wear the wolf.
Thank you. Let's see. And then Leo's like, listen, we gotta leave. This choice is too big for me. I gotta lead up the whole group. And then Splinter says, "You're all becoming." Splinter's like, "You're all becoming young men," and he's like, "But that's great. Is that why we're all wearing pants?" Hey, Mr. Miyagi, is that why we gotta wear cargo shorts now to hide our shame? It's weird. Why are they wearing pants, Tim? Strange. Anyway, then Ralph's like, hey, Leo's like, I'm going to leave this whole decision up to the group. And Ralph goes, okay, no problem. He takes the fucking news and immediately makes the decision for everyone. He does not ask anyone. There's no caucus at all. He just throws it against the wall and says, we're turtles once, we're turtles twice, 3 times a turtle.
Turtles forever.
Turtles for life. April rallies the cops to meet up with the turtles, who trepidatiously come out of the shadows of the sewers into the light. And Laura Linney says, what are you?
Thing.
And Raph says, let's just say we're 4 brothers from New York who hate bullies and love this city.
Got chills.
Cool.
Got chills.
It's cool.
Saying that. It is what
cool.
it is.
And Laura Linney, who is, I have to imagine is at least an Emmy award winning, maybe a Golden Globe award winning, maybe an Oscar winning actress, is like, okay, I'll sell this line of bullshit for because I was getting a big paycheck for this. And she's like, what do you need? And they're like, we need you guys. You guys are going to be a pivotal part of this plan. And then the cops do nothing else for the rest of this movie, but it doesn't matter. And this is one of those things where they're like, all right, here's the plan, everyone. Megan Fox Casey Jones, who may or may not be a hockey player, and Vern the Falcon Fenwick, who is a terrible asset. You guys go take on the Foot, find the portal, and make sure you shut it down. Why don't the cops help us? They can't help us. They don't know what's going on right now. There's no possible way we could just get like half of the 13th precinct to go down there and like overtake them. Why do they split into only 2? It doesn't matter. Meanwhile, we're going to head up to the Technodrome and we're going to turn that thing off and send it back to Kingdom Come. Team effort. Ferd has a funny line here. He says, where they're going around, and he goes, why aren't we with the turtles? When something bad happens, you want to go with the turtles, which is true. That's why during the apocalypse, I'm going to go over to Kevin's house because he's got a giant tortoise there.
Mm-hmm.
Shredder reports to Krang, who then immediately double crosses him. Teams are for weak people. Family is for scaredy cats. I don't share with anyone. And he puts him in the cold storage freezer, and that was it. That's it for Shredder.
Yeah, that's it for Shredder. What a choice. There's some Easter eggs here in the little museum he's in. I don't really know, but the Triceratops looking thing is the Triceratron, which is from the cartoons. And then the opposite side, there's a Neutrino, which is another one of the aliens from the cartoon and comics and stuff.
I tried really hard to look for things, but like the quality just wasn't there for that moment.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see now that like you tell me what it is, I can see the Neutrino because he's all like scared, but that's funny. It's cool. Thanks, Tim.
Casey, Byrne, April narrowly make it to Baxter's building while the turtles surf the remaining piece of the Technodrome to Krang. Bebop and Rocksteady rolling and getting in Casey's way. He tells April and Vern to secure the portal device while he runs interference for them. The turtles spot Krang's robot and fall in. They freak when they spot Krang. And then Mikey says it's like a chewed up piece of bubble gum with a face. And then Donnie heads to the control panel while the rest of the turtles battle it out with Krang, who takes on this. Takes a second to literally rearm. I like this part. I like it was like, he just starts building more weapons based off of his technology. It's not explained, but it's whatever. It's fun. Casey dukes it out with Bebop and Rocksteady while April and Vern make our way to the device. Seeing another option, Casey decides, hey, listen, man, I found a chair that has some rollerblades on it. I'm going to rip those rollerblades off and duct tape them to my feet to make inline skates, Tim, because I'm nothing
so stupid
without my hockey powers.
He's a hockey player, though. You know what I mean?
Hockey player, Andy.
That's where his strength comes from.
Andy, are you going to fucking tell me that you go, Tim, Nick, you got to go take out the portal device. I'll take care of Bebop and Rocksteady. And you look over and you see a fucking basketball and your first instinct isn't to strap that thing to your feet.
It's so bizarre that like these large creatures are in pursuit
on motorcycles.
And they have to do they have to use quick cut editing in order to make it feel like it makes sense. Because like he looks over, he sees some wheels, then suddenly he's got tape and he's strapping them to his feet, and it's just like, what if the wheels suck? Like, like I don't know what the plan is.
Don't bring logic into this movie, right? It has
so
no place here.
Though.
It has
it's
no
presented
place.
with reality.
No.
That's
This
the
is a
problem.
cartoon.
Like
This
it doesn't come off as fun. It comes off as dumb because it doesn't add up in a
See
vision.
how mad he is?
Listen,
he hates everything. You're better than this, Andy.
Tim,
I love so many things.
I'll
It's
say
not
this.
your
I'll
fault.
say this.
Yeah.
I would be a lot more willing to just say whatever, it's stupid, if Casey Jones or Stephen Amell were a really fun character that I enjoyed seeing. Because this is like right here for anybody who loves this movie and maybe really enjoys this part will immediately say, but y'all like the Fast and Furious movies. Yeah, but like those are fun because the actors are just so dumb and over the top. Like Stephen Amell was not enjoyable to watch. If it were another actor that I think is just hamming it up and just being silly as shit on camera, I would have been way more into the fact. I would have been laughing there if the rest of the movie was as fun as it could have been. But like, I see that scene. I'm just like, this sucks. It's so stupid.
In Fast and Furious, they're supposed to be stupid and they're supposed to be over the top and it's supposed to continue to rise that. This was supposed to be cool. That's the difference. And this wasn't cool.
Cool for like a 12-year-old.
No.
And I feel like
I mean,
12-year-olds.
I don't know about you guys, but I
Like, Nick
immediately
is
went
happy as
to my
shit,
storage
you know?
bin and I took out my rollerblades that I used to wear and I just bladed down the street, Tim.
Inline, Tim.
I felt
Inline blades.
the wind in my mullet just blow through my mullet, and I was like,
hate
I don't
me
have
as a
a
mullet.
fucking care in the world right now.
No cares.
Does it make any sense how you would duct tape that to your feet? But
Don't,
no, but who cares?
Nicholas, don't you bring logic into this.
We're
not
not
what
bringing
this is
any
about.
logic into this.
That's not what
He's
this is
also being
about.
chased by 2 tons worth of warthog and rhinoceros. So I think
Yeah,
logic
like,
went
look,
out the window.
I'm talking about minor changes. Just make him a hockey player. Make him just have rollerblades. Make it just that's his thing. And then it's like, okay, cool, we're this. But they need to go out of their way because of decisions they made to do this.
I'm not saying it's good,
I don't know.
but
He
I will
keeps
say
bringing
that
his logic.
perhaps,
But I'm saying it's great.
perhaps you don't have a frame of reference, Tim, because you didn't live through the rollerblade era.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going
I
to
don't
say.
think that's
We
true.
had-
I
we
feel like
had a
rollerblades
second.
were a big deal when
Yeah,
we were
were
it was
my
the
era.
K2 era. They were the K2 era, right?
Brink and
right.
Airborne.
Lest I remind you, Brink.
By the way, we got into a very big, I'm not going to say argument, but discussion on Snowbike Mike on when I was streaming the other night as to whether or not, wait, was that earlier? I can't remember what it was. We were talking about Brink versus Airborne. And apparently I'm on the wrong side of this because I thought Airborne was the superior movie, but people like Brink better. Maybe I have to watch
I
Brink.
think Airborne's better, but
No way.
I think they're both good movies.
I don't think
I'm not
this is a
gonna
healthy
start this.
discussion. I don't think this
I'm
is a
not gonna
healthy
start.
discussion to have with this group.
Whether or
I've never
not
seen Airborne.
friends with
Down to
benefits
try.
or
Oh, yeah, I knew it. There we go.
what was the other one, Tim? The friends with benefits or just friends, whatever the heck. Which one's the better movie? But I'm just going to say Airborne, great film.
Yeah, great
no
film.
strings attached.
No
No
strings
strings
attached.
attached.
Thank you.
Young Seth Green, young Jack Black. Come on,
There you
that's
go.
great, man.
Tim, we should have an Airborne watch party if you've never seen it. I
So
think
down.
very fondly about that movie.
So down.
Anyway, Mikey gets caught in the squeeze by Krang, so Leo and Raph work together to rip his head off and the robot's head off so Donnie can bow staff at death with electricity. With Krang down, April and Vern have one last hurdle to overcome, Karai. Mikey attaches the beacon to Donnie's mini drone, and with the second to spare, they fly it out of the last little opening in the Technodrome structure while Casey smashes the portal device's controls. The 4 turtles watch as the pieces of the Technodrome get sucked back into the portal and then disappear. And then the brothers take a moment high atop the city to pay respect to the thing that allowed them to get the job done. Turtle power. And then at night, Laura Linney holds a secret ceremony to award the boys the key to the city. And they're like, you're pretty A-okay. And then April and Casey ask Casey out on a date. And Laura Linney tells the turtles, listen, you guys, I think will be cool. Like, I'm on your side. You guys can live a normal life. People will accept you now. And then Raph goes, normal? What fun is that? And then that's the end. And the credits roll. And I'm like, could this movie, Tim, get any better? And it could, because we get a redo of the OG TMNT theme song mixed with Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go. And it fucking slaps.
Honestly, I'm a sucker for theme songs. Always am. Love this. Good enough iteration for me to be happy. But I am sorry to continue being such a downer on this
You
shit.
sour.
This is the worst animated credit scene I have ever fucking
Dude,
seen.
for real.
I can't, Kevin, is there any way you could bring it up somehow? Like just to show it.
I can't, but
it
Andy
is
might be
bad in
able to.
every single
can.
way.
I
The
can.
colors are bizarre. The art choice of whoever
don't know,
designed it,
man.
horrible. And the way it's animated, it's like to call it a like 2002 Flash animation is like giving it too much credit. Like it is just stretching and skewing in ways that looks like I animated it in After Effects, Nick. It's like I think it's fucking bad,
I get it.
man.
I definitely
I
get
felt
it.
like it was fine.
Would it
It's
help
not,
if
man.
if I brought up the lyrics to Ninja Rap?
Yes, it would.
Of course.
Yo, it's the Green Machine. Hold on, I just remember
Thank you.
that. I just
Thank
remember
you.
that was from the dome. That was from the dome. Gonna rock the town without being seen. Andy, have you ever seen a turtle get down, slamming and jamming to the new swing sound?
New swing sound. Is my favorite thing of all time. The new swing sound.
gosh.
What does
Look
that
at
mean?
this. This looks like it was made in MS Paint.
This, you know what this reminds me of? Like when I got really excited because I was like, oh, there's a new Wolverine animated movie on Netflix. And then it wasn't. It was an action comic. It was like a motion comic.
Dude,
and they were
they did-
terrible.
They did Tyler Perry so dirty.
Yeah, please
Dude.
bring up Tyler Perry.
I gotta bring up Tyler Perry's drawing. They did him so dirty, dude.
Like, come on, guys. For reals. Like, somebody in the comments, if anybody actually thinks this is good, let me know. Let me know that I'm wrong, because I don't believe a single human being can look at this and think
No,
it's good.
this is
Look
not
at
good.
Twitter.
I-
Look
I-
at any other.
Yeah,
Look at
Megan Fox.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because
I don't
you
think
think Tyler Perry looks
it's
bad.
good, but like I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
This movie has a $135 million budget. I am saying that this is the worst credit scene
Yeah,
in a
and
movie
that-
of this scale ever.
But like
And the
they
fact that she
definitely-
ties up her shirt is just also another gratuitous.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Megan
Joe, you
Fox,
got to complete the look. You know what I mean? If you've already gone 99% into that, you got to
Look
just
at
go
the
to
head.
1%.
What's up with Leo's head? This shit's fucking.
Defend this, Kevin. Defend it.
What's up with that
It's
skull?
fine.
Why
It's
why
fine.
are
Like,
his fingernails so pronounced?
Kevin,
they're
come back over
very
to
pronounced.
Happy
They're
Island.
all pronounced. Yeah, I remember that Happy Island. Like this was.
Let's
fine.
go to Kevin. Come to
Like, I
Happy Island.
certainly
I'll read you
wasn't
verse 2
upset
of the
when I
lyrics
saw
from
this.
Go Ninja Rap.
Oh, more pants.
Go, please.
At this point, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love all of these end credit scenes because it means the movie's over and I don't have to type anymore.
Andy,
Just
please
making
bring
fun
it
of
back
it.
up. Please bring
Oh,
it
yeah.
back up because I want the animation of Michelangelo swinging the nunchuck. You just had it there a second ago, so I think it's one scene before this. Yeah, this one, please.
Oh, okay. Look at that After
Yeah.
Effects
Oh, that's
puppet.
so bad.
The whole thing was
After
made in
Effects
After Effects for
puppet.
sure.
Sure, and,
Yeah.
and like, but like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, the movie
This
itself.
isn't a YouTube
visuals-
video. This is a Hollywood blockbuster with
Yeah,
a
but they could've just
$135
had
million
black.
budget.
They could
This
have just
had
had
Megan
black
Fox
and
in it.
names.
But they didn't. They did this instead.
Kids
Look at his
love
fucking
flash
dome.
animations.
Look at his
okay?
dome.
That dope, man.
Is that how
Right?
shadows work? That whole part is supposed to be shadowed? I don't know.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
somebody
shadows.
worked really hard for a half a day on this.
No,
okay?
they didn't. They
That
didn't.
was the joke. It was only a half.
Tyler Perry, dude.
See, that's an After Effects joke because, as everyone knows, this took at least a week to animate.
Oh,
man.
absolutely. And that's the worst part. Is like this took a very long time to do.
That part, that Tyler Perry doesn't look like the same human being between these two. between these two friends.
No, not at all.
Like right there, he looks like Tyler Perry. Right there, he looks like Jerry Lewis. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I don't know. It's very weird.
Very bizarre.
Right there, he looks like one of the characters from Dick Tracy. I don't know what's going on.
Anyway.
At least they got
Look,
Splinter's wet
DK over
nose.
there. Andy, hit me with either Haiku review or Ragu Bagu, please.
Here we go. I have to adjust all of my thing. Where
Should never
is my
prepare, Andy.
soundboard? Because I restarted my computer. Kevin, do you remember that? Do you remember when I
Suddenly it's my
restarted my
fault.
computer? 7
Suddenly it's my
syllables
fault.
in the middle. It's not popping up. You need 5 for the first and last line.
Let's do Haiku.
Wave link is an opening. No surprise there. Haikus don't need to rhyme.
It's all connected.
Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
Flink is complicated.
You go to patreon.com/kindafunny to write your review in haiku form, just like Jules Vuanato did. Our cartoon made real. Turtle power for the steel. Sloppy, but ideal. Andrew Feisner says,
That's good.
Nerd Tyler Perry, Turtles and Vern less horny and much less scary. Movie not poopy, Krang's very gooey, plain go kablooey. That's what we're working with.
Toodles.
Fucking
Joe
got me
Mertens.
so hard with that.
Joe Mertens writes in, please answer me this. 1 hour, 22 minutes. What's with racket, dude? Nice day at the park. Just you and the missus. But you brought one racket. I need their story. Only because it's probably better than this film.
Wait,
Andy,
who's
could
the
you please
racket?
bring
What's
up
the racket? What does that mean?
at 1 hour, 22 minutes in the movie so we can see what Mr. Joe Mertens is
I
bringing
can't.
up about
I don't
Racket
have
Dude?
the movie. I YouTubed it because I
Oh.
rented it off of Microsoft, off the Xbox store.
I
This
might
wasn't
be-
like
I
an
might be-
HBO
I
Go
might-
thing.
No, I don't have it anymore.
It's on the company Voodoo account.
No, I don't have
Bring it
access.
up, bring
to
it
that.
up, Kevin. Let's go to 1 minute and 26 seconds.
I don't have it
What
set
is
up
it?
where I can capture anything that's streaming like that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Well, Joe,
Unfortunate.
we're just going to believe you that
Yeah.
that would have been a bit better movie about Mr. Racket Man.
Well,
And then
tell me the timestamp one more time.
it is 1 hour, 22 minutes.
1 hour, 22 minutes. All right. Yeah, keep talking, but talk real
I'm
slow.
gonna talk real slow as I read you guys. Of course, miscellaneous is plot in haiku.
Haiku.
10 minutes in. Fuck. Is it just me or does this suck? Most obvious truck. Bad guys freed Shreddy with Bebop and Rocksteady. Turtles weren't ready.
They were
Changing up their
sweaty.
jeans. I enjoy the fun fight scenes. Stuff happens, it seems. Turn your gaze up high. Cloudy anus in the sky.
Yep.
They're all gonna die.
Mhm.
Death Star seems too strong. Just like this movie's too long. Best part? The theme song.
129, you say?
122.
122. Sorry. Here we go. It's like an hour 22, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
An hour 22. All right. Well, let's bring this bad boy
It's a
up.
valid question,
I will-
Andy. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you. 122. Guess we're getting some like ocean
No, it's not
sequence.
working. It's blacking it out. It's the same issue.
Oh, it's doing that thing. It's doing
Hey,
that
no,
thing.
what's up? Well, again, we believe you, Joe Mertens. Do you
Andy,
believe Joe
can
Mertens,
you walk
Joey?
us through the scene? I was enjoying the you giving us.
Yeah, sure thing. Water is flying by. There's some storms in the sky.
Visualize.
And some people are looking high. That's a rhyme right there. Oh, yeah, the one man with the racket. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So there's just like, here. You know what I could do? Here's what I could do. I could screenshot this and then
I don't think
show
it'll
the
let you.
screenshot. Oh, motherfucker. God, these
Yeah.
guys think of everything, don't they?
I mean, I got a way around it, but it involves a
So do
showroom,
I.
and we don't have it.
So do I.
We don't have it.
No, there's a way to do it, Kevin, by turning off hardware acceleration. That shit definitely 1000% works.
Oh yeah, mine.
But
While Kevin
essentially,
may or may not figure that out.
everybody's looking at this thing in the sky and they're all freaked out. And it's a dude, and I'm assuming his girlfriend, and they're holding hands, kind of like concerned, walking towards this thing. And he has a racket and like a backpack. And like they don't look like they've been playing tennis. He certainly doesn't look like he's been playing tennis. Where did he get this racket from? What's his plan?
Well, he's a cop too. That's the thing. He's a cop, but he also likes tennis.
Oh,
so.
got it. Tennis man.
Exactly.
Tennis man.
Exactly. Hit me with Ragu Bagu, please.
Da-da-da-da-da-do.
Ragu.
Da-da-da-da-da-do.
Ragu. What's up, homies? And welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys here for Tumnut in review. Here's how the list stands. Number 1, Winters the General and Karai from the animated movie. Number 2, Eric Sack and the samurai armor from Wolverine from the 2014 movie. Shredder and the Foot Clan and those amazing shoulder pads from the original movie. Super Shredder and the Wolf and Snapping Turtle from TMNT 2. And then Lord, Norinaga, and Walker and the screenwriters for the film TMNT 3, as some people say, Turtles in Time. Where do we want to put Krang, or Craig, as I will probably write him in? Number 2?
Number 2, I say.
I'll second
I
that.
think that works. He's fine.
I like
silly.
Bebop Rocksteady. The villains had enough fun action scenes and things. Their plot was a plot, which
It
is
was
more
there.
you can say than some of the lower ones. So
Right.
It's fair.
Cool. Number 2. There they are. Boom. We're moving right along, people. Having fun.
What
now
a
it's
clip.
time to rank the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Currently, number 1, we have TMNT, the 2007 animated movie. Then we have Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. Then Ninja Turtles 1990. Then Ninja Turtles 2014 coming in at number 4. Number 5, we just have a spot open. And then number 6, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Personally, I think that this is perfect. There's a nice little spot to put this movie where it belongs.
I
Right in that
agree.
little empty
Can we
slot.
do we have the rankings we can bring up?
Oh, I'm so
Oh my
sorry.
God.
Yeah, I have that. Hold on.
Thank you, Andy.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Perfect.
I think.
Rocket Man.
Oh my
I-
god.
I'm just going to leave him up.
Yeah,
What are they doing? What's the plan?
I legitimately believe this should be number 1. I had the most fun with this movie, and yeah, no, I'm serious, Joey. I'm serious. And I think it's the only movie that I'd watch again out of all this horrible mess.
You did
I could-
more than the animated one than
Yeah.
2007? You wouldn't watch
Yeah.
that again?
No, I don't think so.
I can see an argument for it being above 2014, but at the end of the day, I just think that kind of had more solid moments than this one does.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Can I chime in here?
Yeah.
I'm away.
I'm gonna shock the world right now.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
I'm gonna shock the world right now
I don't think you
and
should.
agree with Kevin. I think this
Thank
is the
you.
best
Yeah.
representation we've gotten so far of the fun of what a TMNT movie should be. And I think I'm going to tell you this right now, all of your criticisms are 100% valid.
100%.
But I've watched this movie twice and I was entertained by it both times. And I can't say the same for the other movies that I watched because they just kind of fall flat. Even the TMNT, the animated one, which by the way is a very capable movie and it's very well animated and
serviceable.
written. It's just not fun. It just is lacking for me for some reason. Whereas this movie had, I think the fun of it overshadowed how terribly written it was and the fact that it makes no sense. Well, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make that much sense. It doesn't have
Yeah,
to
I
make
mean,
sense.
it's not
I
a
think
good plot, but it is a plot.
It's
and
yeah,
it does.
it's not a good movie. It's not a good plot, but none of these are especially
Right.
good with good plots. And so I would say, as far as I think this for me is the best of the worst.
This goes right in that same slot that Tim was mentioning earlier for me, number 5. I'm in that spot where I think 2014 Ninja Turtles should be higher than it is, but I got outvoted, and that's totally fair. So I don't think this movie is better than that movie. I would, however, prefer watching this movie over the 2007 movie. Honestly, all of our opinions are all over the place with this.
Y'all are
number one, Andy. Let's do
Andy,
it.
Joey, you're crazy. Wally is not lower than fucking Finding Nemo.
Joey, don't
like,
listen to him. If you
have a
vote this at number
chance.
1, I have this new post-it for you.
No,
This
I would
whole
put this-
stack
No
of
way.
post-its for you.
I would put this number
Absolutely
5.
not.
I put this number 5. I think the 2014 version made me laugh more consistently. I thought this one had a couple of nice gems, but the 2014 not only had humor that I enjoyed from the Turtles, not all the time, but enough. And I didn't ever really roll my eyes a whole lot. And that's always my gauge. Like, how many times am I going to go, oh, man. And this movie made me do that more. I enjoyed the downhill snow scene of the 2014 a lot more than the action sequences in this one.
What, then the waterfall scene? Or the double plane waterfall?
You crazy.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
on, Andy.
yeah,
It was a big hill.
I would say I liked it a bit more. I'm not that this one, not that wasn't enjoyable, but I enjoyed the action sequences of 2014 more. 2014 did not have Tyler Perry. It did not have Bebop and Rocksteady, and that movie's better for it.
I think
I'm with
the
Andy and
2014 was trying to be a more serious movie. And like I got a bunch of vibes with it. They were trying to be like, it wasn't just like, hey, let's have fun. And that's what this movie is more about.
The new
Maybe
final rankings of Ninja Turtles in review for now. Number 1, TMNT 2007. Number 2, Secret of the Ooze. Number 3, Ninja Turtles 1990. Number 4, Ninja Turtles 2014. Number 5, Out of the Shadows. And number 6, Turtles in Time. We will return to this interview series, hopefully in 2023, with the Seth Rogen produced
long
movie.
from now.
Pretty
That's
damn
such a long
excited
time,
for
Joey.
that.
It's
It'll be here
2021
before
right
you
now.
know it. Like I said, we're going to return later this week with Black Widow in review for MCU in review. Very exciting stuff. And then after that, we are gearing up for Space Jam in review, everybody. So that's really cool. Kev, actually, if I sent you the asset right now, could you play it for us? Because it's really fun.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
I'm so salty about the ranking for this movie. I will say, I would.
This is the
I
one
would
that I
pretty
think
much only rather watch TMNT 2007 for the rest of life than probably watch this again.
Yeah, like I'm totally with Nick on the 2007 one. I thought it was like serviceable and non-offensive, but just I thought it was whatever.
Did you send it, Tim?
This movie
Yeah,
had
Got to go all the way through.
these last two had way higher highs and lower lows
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And the lower lows are there, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is, indeed.
It is
Oh, Tim,
what
while
it
we
is.
wait for that, do you want me to pull up this video? Hold on.
Oh, yeah. I would appreciate that. We just need to watch the first 10 seconds of this.
Yep. Let's see audio.
WWE superstar Sheamus is here at IGN today.
Naomi, we all know wrestling's fake.
There's Sheamus.
Amazing.
There he is. There's Rocksteady.
There he is. There he is. Rocksteady himself
So
kicking me in the
tall.
fucking face.
You just got kicked in the face. Were you scared when his size 11 boot just came at your noggin?
No, I knew he could handle it. And it was
He
fine.
has a bigger shoe than size 11, Nick. Like, I have a size 10, dude.
I threw out 11 came out. I was like, you missed it. You fucked that joke up. You should have said 14.
Like
And I was
fucking
nobody
18
caught
or
it.
something.
I was like, nobody caught it. And then, of course, fucking Andy catches every stupid thing I said.
Like, can you imagine, Tim, that massive, like 5'9" guy running at you?
Oh, God.
Oh God! Is this
about
what
the
I think
audio?
it's about? Oh my
Oh,
God!
Jesus Christ. What's happening here?
Oh,
We need to hear it.
God
Space
damn it.
Jam.
I don't know if the audio is coming through. Give me 1 second. Desktop audio.
oh, this looks
Where is it,
fantastic
boys? I
already.
swear to
I hate
God.
the way
Yeah.
I look from behind. I
It's
don't-
Tim.
That's
how
me.
you-
Oh, is that Tim? Never mind. I thought that was me. My bad, Tim. You look great.
This is from the party mode episode.
Was it? I thought it was me for that second.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Sorry,
it was
guys.
party mode, not KFAF.
Yeah, this is the one that we filmed when Jeff Ramsey came up and Tim didn't fucking pass me the ball. God damn it!
Mm-hmm.
Pass positive. Tim heaving a long full court shot with like 10 seconds to go. You can dribble down. I still have the hip hop sound in my head because it was one of those royalty free tracks. It was like ding 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 ding. YouTube and their free licensed music. There it is.
Can you just put?
Sorry, it's not
That's
coming
what
through
we
the right
got.
place.
That's what we got.
We can hear it though, Kim.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
can't hear. Oh wait, maybe they could.
This is a disaster.
This is
I mean,
terrible.
this is what happens when you throw things in. Last
Yeah.
minute.
Hey,
gotta
it's all
prep.
good, dude. It's all
I'm having
good.
fun. I insulted Tim. I apologize about that, Tim.
I love that.
Oh, amazing.
That's the beginning, Kev. Andy passes the ball to Bugs Bunny.
Great. It's great.
Fucking
stupid.
Cameron Kennedy. God damn it.
Love
And
the
Carter
Cameron
Harrell.
Kennedy
I
did the
love it.
visuals. Carter Harrell
So
did the
good.
audio. Of course, you can, as
Amazing.
always, check out their Twitters in the description of this video. Thank you so much. You guys, we'll be back later this week. Black Widow, then eventually other stuff. We love you all. Turtles are gone. They're done for now.
Thank God.
Tell someone about Tum Nut. Tell someone about the Toodles.